see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body.
Yeah, I just discovered something actually. And maybe I'll try this if I ever have an in studio guest as well. I can actually hook up my other microphone to have two audio inputs. So we can actually have two separate people talking. I tried to talk the wife into joining in because I said, you don't even have to leave the couch. We could just set you up with your phone in the living room with the microphone.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
Because she did express the other day that she thought about kind of wanting to come on and chit chat.
She's like, I don't want to talk to those idiots.
I don't think she has an issue with idiots, obviously, because I'm still here. So
that was a prerequisite, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, we did get an email. So we actually got a few emails this week, but I'll get into that here in a minute.
Oh, that's right. The Will email.
So we do have, well, not just, we do have
Has
that.
he rage quit yet?
No. Well, I don't know. We haven't read it. So while Ricky's still messing with some stuff on his new setup here, I'm actually going to go ahead and get us started with comments. So we are a week behind because due to many circumstances, we just didn't really get to record last week. So we're coming back after a week, and Ricky's back after all his baseball, after his sports ball. So So going back to episode 14, Boobs on a Tank, Christine commented, and this is a long one. This is to do with your comments near the end. I love Star Wars stuff, but there are many ways to look at a whole good/bad thing in light versus dark. Jedi is about selfless. Here's a point to consider. They take babies and children away from their homes based on genetics to train them on their own self-belief system to become subservient and carry out whatever missions a high council decides are needed, and free thought is discouraged. All of this is done in the name of good versus evil as defined by themselves. Maybe neither side is right, but different people just identify better with one side or the other without realizing there may be other sides they haven't thought of yet. And training animals to communicate might be close in the future. They are much smarter than people give them credit for, but you have to interact with them to build up trust first. Not too much controversy this week. Peace. Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot of controversial conversation. But she makes the obvious.
100% agree with her Star Wars statement. The gray Jedi is where you kind of cut it at. I always thought the Jedis were almost like a cult, like the way they talk and act and treat people.
Yeah,
but
I mean, it is.
You have the Sith, like they always say, Yoda had that famous line, only Sith, or what was it, Obi-Wan, only Sith deal in absolutes. Well, the Jedi deal in absolutes. Everybody just kind of looks past that.
It was always contradictory. Yeah.
Yeah. So I always thought the gray Jedi kind of had it more, like they had a little bit from this and a little bit from column B, and they kind of made more sense out of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, because the whole point is the Force wants balance. But the Jedi, by the time that the Clone Wars rolled around, were pretty much at their height. There were thousands of them. They were spread out everywhere. Their dogma was out of control, and these Sith were hiding in the shadows like they generally do. And then, of course, the script flips, So they wipe out virtually all of the light side and then just start spreading dark side, as it goes, even converting light side users to dark side users, increasing it even more, So, and then, of course, it rhymes later on when we get to the First Order and Rey and all them in the sequel. So, it's a system trying to balance itself out, except that everyone forgets that gray Jedi are a thing, right?
I always thought it was weird that they always talk about balance and stuff in those, and it's 2 Sith versus how many ever Jedi they got lined up, hundreds and thousands of them. I mean, so how is that a balance at all either? So the Jedi put it out of balance just as much as the Sith do.
I think it's, well, that's the Sith's fault.
Because that was, the rule of 2.
Yeah, when the rule of 2 was established, it's basically because they could never trust each other completely, and they always knew that the apprentice was always going to kill the master eventually, so they had to establish the rule of 2. But we all know that there were always...
Bane did the rule of 2?
Was it?
Oh, that went back like thousands of years.
That was Darth Bane, right?
I think it was Bane. Yeah,
it probably was. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. So I mean, like they foresaw what they were and established the rule of 2. Except it didn't even matter because you get around to like the Inquisitors, which are Sith light, basically. You know,
Or like acolyte.
Yeah, they have all the benefits of being a Sith, but none of the title, right?
None of the ultimate power of it.
They're just the inverse Jedi is really all they are at that point, you know. So they keep the same dogma and they go and wipe out the other ones, you know.
Bad union reps.
That too.
Yeah.
So obviously we'll be talking
union reps. Yes.
we will definitely be talking some Kenobi later. We do have okay, so that comment doesn't necessarily matter because Will telling us to read the email where he actually emailed in. And then one other comment from the previous or the last episode, which was the POS truck with a rebel flag discussion. And it was Jan Goza saying, when is the next episode being put up? But then they popped up in my live stream Friday night, and I explained what was going on. So, speaking of the email, if you guys want to email us, you can do so at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com. That's all one word. It is down in the description, so you can just copy and paste. You don't have to try to remember. So,
before we get into all the rage and anger of it all, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yes,
except you deadbeats.
Except for the deadbeats, and
I don't consider them fathers; those are sperm donors.
Yeah, I was going to say happy Sperm Donor Day. Happy technically, there's a separate day for stepfathers, isn't there? Or are they all?
Yeah, there's a separate day for all step parents.
Okay, but so all step parents have to be lumped together, but normal
parents. You know what? If you're willing to step in where the actual father wouldn't, I'm sorry, you're not a stepdad. You're more than a dad. In that case,
yeah.
You know, so I did with Kara's. We just celebrated Mother's Day the day before, so that way my ex couldn't say anything about it, but she still had a special day too.
Exactly.
Stepdad almost feels like I don't know, cheap.
Yeah,
it does kind of.
Well, I mean,
but it's a step up.
Well, unless it's not a replacement situation, and if it's just a divorce situation. You know, so sometimes stepdads don't step up. They're just there as a glorified babysitter / new spouse.
Well, that's
and they don't take responsibility on the same level of being a dad, you know, and the same thing for stepmoms. That happens too. So
it is what it is. That.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not going to go into the immediate rage and all that. We do have one email from want to be called Jay. That's the same person that just commented a minute ago. It was suggestions for when we can't do full episodes. So, okay. So like last week, we weren't able to actually, it was really like, we could have pulled something together, but probably not a full episode. So, you know, there's a point. So, one would be a Nymea quickie, a short 5 to 10 minute segment. I mean, sure. Nymea story time. Each one of you tells a story, funny or bad, and divided up into 3 episodes. I think they just mean each of us tell a story, and we just split it up. Nymea stand up. Each of you do a 15-minute joke block. I'm not entirely certain we're qualified for that. Unless we're just gonna do dad jokes. Or stepdad jokes, or not quite a dad yet jokes. Nymea bloopers. Wait, that's what the podcast is already about. And Nymea rants. Right. Okay, so this is for Mike, I think. Nymea rants. One of you picks a topic and you rant about it for 4 to 5 minutes. I mean, we do that every episode, anyways. So,
but that's a given.
So the only thing about it is I can record at any given time because I've got the access to all the stuff. You know, it's just whether or not anyone else has the time to manage to do any short stuff. Or
he's got a monopoly.
Yeah, well,
he doesn't trust us with the keys to the car.
Yeah, I know. Come on, Dad.
No.
Let's take it for a joyride. I promise I won't crash it.
I've seen your channel. Yes, you will. I've seen what happens when you're in charge, Mike. Anyways, so no, I mean, it's not a bad suggestion, but we could also, in theory, you know, we could set aside 10 or 15 minutes per episode for something extra just to sit on the back burner whenever we need to throw in some content, instead of just chopping the 5.5 hour episodes we tend to do. Which we won't do a 5.5 hour episode today, I'll tell you that right now, because the wifey is already going to be on the murder rampage again if we don't go down to the pool on time.
Hooray!
Yes.
You're not allowed to go to the pool unaccompanied by an adult?
She could go down there on her own if she wanted to, and then I'd just meet her, because she does want to get some more sun. I got plenty of sun.
She just wants hubby.
Yes. I mean, I'll go down.
Gross.
That's not a problem. It's just, so either way. Okay. So we did have another email real quick with some questions, which is fun. So this is from Jay as well. All right. And it says, okay, so number 1, do you guys all build models, cars, tanks, planes, miniatures, such? Obviously I do,
I have in the past. I haven't recently, but I used to do like Star Trek ships and actual like car builds and stuff. And when I was younger, like early teens, like I was real big into fighter jets and stuff. So I was constantly building those things, like old school models.
Who was your, hold on real quick. I want to ask Rikki what his favorite brand was.
Oh, I don't remember. How the hell do I remember? I don't know. I hated the ones with just stickers. I like the ones with water slides.
Yeah. So there was AMT and Revell were the main 2.
I think AMT was the one that I used a lot.
Yeah.
Were they the ones that like already had the chromed out rims in there and you just had to paint the rest?
Either one.
No, one of them you had to paint the rims. They would be just like plastic.
Everyone that I ever had chrome wheels, so I don't know. I had both.
You're talking early '90s now too.
Well, I know that's when I got into building too. So I mean, all the ones
Walmart,
I had.
Which one would have been more prominent in Walmart?
They had both.
God damn it! You are no help.
But
Shooky.
I mean,
I don't know. One of those two,
so
both of those two. I don't know.
I'll say
probably.
this: I think, well, at least my WalMarts, I believe, had more Revell kits, so it probably would have been that. Yeah. All right, so Mike.
Okay. Let's see. Used to be Gundam models for a bit. Like, especially about 20 years ago, they had like these smaller ones. And
that's all they had.
Well, yeah. But they were like, God, I can't remember what size they were, but this was like about maybe 20 years ago or something like that.
I would have built a Gundam kit if Shoky'd ever sent it to me.
I don't know. They were probably
like one.
You said you had one for me to try out because I was talking about getting a freaking Gundam.
Oh no! Well, I mean, you wanted the Barbatos thing, but I mean, it's already built. So I mean, you wouldn't be building it; it would just be assembled.
But these were about I don't know 6 inches tall or something like that. They were like
I know which ones you're talking about.
They had a whole series, yeah.
And
I really liked them because when I was a kid, I used to build a lot of Star Wars models by I think it was Revell.
Mm-hmm.
I think and like I had the shuttle Tidarium, I had like TIE fighters.
Dude, that kit was crazy. Like I remember that was huge.
I loved it. I got it when my parents and my brother, we went down to Florida. I think this was around 85, 86 maybe.
Good God.
And and I came back with this big shuttle Tidarium model. And
that was a cool one.
I loved building it, the wings folded up and all that jazz. Frig. And
it was huge.
I think it was humongous. And I think by the end of it, I took some fishing line and just hung it from my ceiling. I love that model. God, I loved it. And I think even before that, I built model rockets that you would actually launch.
Oh, yeah. I never did those.
Oh, I love them. They were fun. So much fun. But yeah, you know what? It wouldn't be something to get back into again.
Yeah.
But I mean, if
you have enough
do
work.
Models again. Well, yeah, exactly right. But I mean, if I'm going to do models again, I'm probably going to get like one of those really big ass Gundam models.
Yeah,
the ones that are
go through Canadian Gundam, make your life easy.
Yeah, oh yeah,
they're decent. Yeah. They're decent. I know those guys, even though I don't really communicate with them, but they're a pretty good seller. Wait, are they still? Okay, it's a different one that shut down. Okay, a lot of independent sellers shut down during COVID because they just couldn't get anything with things getting stuck in the ports. But I think, as far as I know, Canadian Gundam is still going. So just check that out.
I think so. Because now my daughter's getting actually interested in building Gundam models.
Oh, well, I got a whole backlog she can crack into.
There we go.
All right, question number 2. And this is just for me. Will you review the 1000 USS Defiant by... Defiant isn't USS, is it? It's an X. The second Defiant was. Anyway. By any/round 2 and compare it to the Eagle Moss? No. But thanks for asking. It's like I'm not
short, simple, and to the point.
I mean, I've got no interest in building a thing that I already have a perfectly good representation of. Now, back in the day, yes, I would have definitely had that model because it was big.
Let me think about this. No.
Yeah, don't even have to think about it.
Next question.
Oh, here's a fun one. All right, here's a fun one. How hard is it to start a YouTube channel, and is it worth it?
Not very hard at all, and no.
Yeah.
Next question.
It's
We're
very
knocking these motherfuckers down quick.
Yeah, it's like, well, no, it's like I have 4 of them, and yes, it's super easy to start one, and it's never been worth it. So, but then again,
I don't know. It's yeah, it is super easy. It's just building up the nerve to, you know,
Yourself out there.
put yourself out there. You
Yeah.
know, because it's a big step. Because I was debating it for probably a couple of years before I actually did it. And it's like, well, what do I talk about? You know, there's like so many people talking about this or so many people talking about that. You know, what's going to make me stand out among all the millions of YouTube channels that are out there? You know,
give away millions of dollars worth of shit every
Well,
episode.
yeah.
That's what it is. Like,
You could
it's like,
do that.
to make the most amount of money. You have to give away the most amount of money. Apparently, you know. Shout
Yeah,
out to Mr.
I
Beast.
suppose.
What you need to do is remove your 2 lower ribs.
No,
Yeah.
Listen to lots of Marilyn Manson.
no,
God. Oh God.
not condoning any of this.
No.
That's OnlyFans or Twitch.
No.
Oh shit! I always get them mixed up. OnlyFans, YouTube,
If
same
you,
thing.
If you start a Twitch, all you need is a hot tub.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
and
exactly.
and be attractive. Sorry, I forgot about that part.
Oh,
Yeah.
and don't forget be
Boobs in
a
the thumbnail.
redhead. Yeah.
No, you gotta have boobs in the
Lighting.
thumbnail. Look.
It's
if-
all
Around.
lighting.
literally, if you want to start a YouTube channel, just put some type of attractive person in
Yeah.
the thumbnail, even if it's completely irrelevant to the point, and you will be
With boobs.
successful. Well, it doesn't have to
That's
be
right.
boobs. I mean, everybody loves boobs, but you can just put some type of attractive person doing something that is completely irrelevant, and just add add a reaction face to the thing, and you'll just get millions of hits. It's fine. That's why
I
I'm not a
suggest
success.
Trampolines.
This
and
is not the
bikinis.
man show.
Trampolines.
It could be.
and
I remember that
bikinis.
show.
It could be. It could be.
Adam Carolla and
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel.
By
Yeah.
the way, slow-mo trampoline. Gotta have
Yes.
super slow-mo trampoline.
That
That's
kind
right.
of stuff never really did it for me, man. I don't know. Once the internet became a thing and you could literally pull up porn in like 2 seconds, girls had to up their game to catch my attention now, man. Because
Exactly. That's why
just in 2 seconds type out what I want to be seeing.
Work for that dollar.
Exactly. And hold on.
No, but oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say just the last comment on the email though. It says, "You guys are great and don't give a fuck. Would sub, but I can't log into my account using the family's phone account." It's pretty funny. Been listening since episode 0, so we have a long time listener here.
Who is this?
This
Jay?
is Jay, or on YouTube it says Jan Goza, but that's obviously not their actual name. That's just the name that they have to log in under. So
Well, what's up, Jay? And thanks for sticking around this long, sucker.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Jay.
sticking around all the way up to episode 15.
Yeah.
Which
And we do have 0 fucks, so we don't fucking care that you've been here this long.
exactly.
I'm just joking. We appreciate you, Jay.
Yeah. So
Love you, Jay.
we are back. We are back this week finally, and yeah, it's been a hell of a week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, very interesting.
when we should have been recording last week, I was actually at my parents' house mowing, finishing up the yard work and stuff that I started the previous day.
Mhm.
And Rikki was very busy with sports ball, and Mike was also very busy with other things, so we couldn't make that happen. And then on Monday, where we normally would do our backup recording, if we could, I believe, Rikki, were you working that morning? I think you were.
Yeah,
yeah,
I had to
you
go
were-
in
yeah, you-
early or something
Yeah,
like
you had
that.
to go in early, so that was inconvenient. But also, my dad decided to go ahead and accidentally take my mom's medication instead of his own, and we were very worried he was going to die. Almost said unfortunately. No, fortunately.
Jesus Christ, Shoki. On Father's Day, he's like, unfortunately, that fucker. Hold
Yeah,
on.
exactly. No,
This show got dark.
it went the wrong way. So
Happy Father's Day, fucker.
yeah, well, you're still
Dear
here.
Dad, love you.
Yes.
Wish
So-
you were dead.
yeah, exactly.
mean-
So
No, I wish you were not dead.
I meant, thank God you're still here. No.
Oh, God.
Yes, I was. I think I was gonna say unfortunately to something else, and I got in the
Or
wrong.
maybe you're going to go with, fortunately, he survived it.
Yeah,
Maybe you were going positive. and that's
I
where your
don't.
brain
I don't know
fucked
exactly
you.
where
Like,
my. I was like, that sentence got away from me.
you.
Either way, no, I don't resent my dad. Believe me.
Why
But-
did you bring me into
my,
this world?
my Oedipus complex is kicking in.
No. Jesus Christ, no. Either way, so he survived.
I just wanted you to tell me you were proud of me.
which I don't think I've ever actually heard, but either way. So,
Don't ever touch my mom.
oh God, shut up, Rikki, shut up.
Oh man, strangers in the night.
So either way, he went to the ER. He went to the ER Monday because because my dad does have dementia, and I guess when he's actually on his meds, he's already a handful. When he's not on his meds because he's taking something else by accident, apparently he turns into a really, really big handful. So
yeah, that would be.
That's what she said.
Shut up. So,
Sure is a two-hander.
So mom took him to the ER. He was being pretty uncooperative. They didn't want to give him anything because they didn't know exactly what was going on. They got him to finally calm down, but also his blood pressure was like triple what it should have been. It was like 320 over like 170.
Oh my God.
But considering my dad's heart literally has almost no function in half of it, how his blood pressure got that high is insane. So, eventually once his blood pressure came down, they ran a billion tests, all that kind of shit. They literally found nothing going on other than the fact he had a ridiculous fit. And, 7 hours later, they just went home. They said, well, we can admit you and then try to find a placement for him somewhere, or you can just go home. And my mom just said, fuck it, we're going home.
Yeah.
So,
but the problem with dementia and stuff is they have to keep them that long to watch them because they have a hard time describing what's wrong with them.
Yeah, exactly.
To the doctors and stuff. And so that medicine could have been kicking his ass a little harder than
I'm sure.
realized.
I know. Yeah. It had to have been the medication, but it was also the fact that like 2 of the medications are to help my mom sleep. So they knocked him the fuck out, which is something he's not used to. So in theory, maybe it came back, like just extra energy from, coming back off of that,
Right.
Like, so
should have entered him in a dance contest.
Not with his broken foot,
just walking off.
So he's still got
call that one the boot scooting boogie, man.
Exactly.
That's right.
So he still has his broken foot, and that's healing up. Actually, the doctor gave him about 10 more days with the hard boot, and then
he's like my dad, the guy with the broken foot, falls down in the parking lot, ODs on my mom's medication, and we call him Lucky.
That's right.
No, we call
when
him.
When he dies, I'm gonna ferment his foot.
No,
it'll be lucky.
Jesus.
No,
it'll be like 100 times better than a rabbit's foot.
We're just gonna call him a hearse.
Anyways,
so that's how the beginning of my week went. Then work was nuts. Not to mention, we've had the Saharan dust cloud of the year for like literally started like last Saturday, and it's just been raging all week. And for those who are
how did y'all get dust from Sahara and it just bypasses us?
Dude, it literally it literally follows
the
like the trade winds. Yeah, it follows the trade winds. So I mean, you're obviously very familiar of the path the hurricanes tend to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dust literally does that. It's blowing literally from Africa. Space. You can see it from fucking space. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it just loops around us and bypasses us?
Yeah. I mean, it actually might hit more of the
African dust.
Well, it probably hits South Florida, like, down there around Miami, but it definitely just mostly fills the Gulf and hits Louisiana and the whole Gulf Coast of Texas.
That's why you got beautiful beaches, Rikki.
Exactly.
It's all that African
sand.
It's
African sand. Right. Dude, and no joke, it is a lot of like people say it's a lot of dust, which it is, much finer particulate, but like it is actual sand in the air because like, for my job, I'm mostly outdoors, even though I'm in a vehicle. And by the time I got off work on Wednesday, I had dust and sand on me, like on my skin. I'm like brushing it off, and it was like all in my hair, like it was crazy. I was like, and it really does react to my sinuses, like, or vice versa, really. And so I actually wore a mask at work all week just to be safe, because I remembered way back when so the last time it was this bad was in 2020. So, the height of, COVID in Texas.
Way back. You mean like 2 years ago, dude?
Dude, 2 years ago was 7 years ago in real time. So
way back when dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Yeah. But no,
it feels like it was a lot longer ago.
Yeah. Well, no, the funny thing is,
trade winds were blowing the wrong way, and the dust came from Africa.
Dude, the beginning of 2020 was forever ago. I mean,
it does feel like it.
So,
you couldn't breathe the muscle.
But I saw a post on Facebook.
Pirate story.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, but I saw a post on Facebook where work was forcing us to wear masks the whole time, And I was like, hey, this is actually doing good to keep the dust out of my face. And I was like, I'm pulling out my old gaiters, my gaiters and my cloth mask because, it's not fighting off a virus. It's fighting off sand. This should work. And it did up until yesterday where I didn't wear it to work because it looked fine. The air looked pretty clean in comparison. Like it didn't look hazy like all damn day. And I'm still paying.
Lulled you into a false sense of security.
It did. So it's not terrible. Like,
that's what she said.
Yeah,
that is never what she said. So either way, that's just it's been fucking nuts. But I guess I may as well just continue on with our normal weeks. We do have a pretty good discussion topic here in a bit, so I might as well just blow through our weeks while we're here. I did actually do the judging of my charity contest, my MS100 charity contest I announced a few months ago. Unfortunately, not a lot of people participated, so we actually didn't raise much of anything.
MS100.
Multiple sclerosis 100. So I was raising funds for the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, I think is what it is. And it was a build contest. So people pay to jump in and they build a custom Gundam of some sort, So in the past, I've read 4 of them so far. Not all multiple sclerosis, but the previous one got really shortchanged and the money ended up going somewhere else. So I wanted to redo it this year. And I originally only had 6 people sign up and only 3 people managed to fully compete. So honestly didn't raise much in the way of money. So I'm going to have to donate in a different manner. So
well, I think that it's a thought that counts, though. I mean, you have a small pool you're pulling from anyway, so at least those 3 showed up.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. The first charity contest I did, we raised $700, no problem. This one we raised $60. So it's a massive differential. So, it's a bit of
that is a big drop off.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow.
Over the course of only 4 years. So, that's a big drop. I mean, mind you, 1 year we skipped because of COVID. There was nothing to buy and build. So we didn't do that. So it is what it is. So I did that. So congratulations to Tony, Jerry, and Jim, who were the only 3 people who won, but they all were in 3 different classes.
So, thank you guys for donating and thank you guys for doing it.
Yeah. So coincidentally, they were in 3 different classes. So I actually got to look at it that way. It's like, so, but Tony, that's Antonio Freitas. He actually makes miniatures and sculpting work and stuff like that for film industry. So he applies that same stuff to his model building and has done some really ridiculous stuff. I'll be putting out a video at some point, at least featuring like the pictures and stuff that he did. Because the only way I can judge it is via pictures and or video they send me, because it's an internet only contest. So, but he does some ridiculous work, builds a whole story behind it. He builds crazy shit on top of just the model kit itself. And the fact that he only did it in 3 months' time is incredible. So he's been a long time subscriber and supporter. And the last time I was going to host a contest, coincidentally, was the one that failed, but he had broken his hand, so he couldn't build. So this was his return to form. So it was kind of cool to have him back. So yay. All right. As for anything else, let's see here, because it's 2 weeks now. I got to remember everything. I haven't got much in. I got the NECA Demona finally from the Gargoyles line. Found that at a local Target, which was crazy.
Ooh, did you?
Still haven't got her yet.
Yep.
Pissed off about it.
Yeah, but like as far as I know, every store only got 2, if they got it at all. Like it was just a single case with 2 Demonas in it. Wow. And they were both on the
I
shelf.
ordered mine off BBTS. They're just sitting there waiting for them to get theirs, I guess.
Exactly. So I did originally as well, but finding her at a Target that I don't normally go to because it's way out of my way, was worth it. And then I hit up a new friend that I met while toy hunting, and told him that it was available up there, and like just happened to be by his work that evening when he got off, and it was still there. So he was really happy too, because I met him while he was hunting down Demona, like Macbeth.
Hold the fuck up! You're telling me you found a second one and you gave it some rando motherfucker before you hit me up and said you found a second one?
Yeah, because he was here. It's like if he didn't need it, then I would have got it for you.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, you at least have it on pre-order. He didn't. So
He knows where BBTS is.
yeah, this is also true. Because I did have to tell him that Bronx was also up for order on BBTS, so he did do that. So I'm still on the lookout for Bronx, because if Demona hit, odds are Bronx will hit sometime soon.
Well, I already have Bronx. I don't have Demona. Like
Yeah.
one of my friends up in Jersey actually found me or New York, one of the two. I can't remember if it was Chuck or one of them found it for me up there, so I was able to get him. But yeah, Demona's been a bitch and a half to find.
Yeah, because they released her overseas first to make up for a previous release that NECA botched in the UK. So the UK got her first, and then we were getting it after. So it is what it is. Which also, it works, considering where they came from in the first place.
Could be worse.
Yep. So I did order the last train bot once it reappeared on BBTS. So
nice.
I did not. I had it pre-ordered initially, but I didn't want to blow out my credit card as bad as it was going to be, which I'm glad I canceled a bunch of pre-orders, because that would have been like an extra $400 or $500, like, in like a 2-week span. So, I canceled the pre-order initially, and then when they hit shelves, or so to speak, he sold out everywhere. This is a Green Peak. And Rikki had his
Green Zone.
Green Zone. I keep calling it Green Peak. My bad.
Cool Peak was the one that just came out, that beige one.
Yeah. That's why I keep getting it confused. Cool Peak, Green Zone. Yep. So either way, and coincidentally, I did actually just review and post a review of Cool Peak, which I think personally is the best one so far.
So far, the limb bots are the best. Like, because I just tore mine all apart into individual bots to get them ready for Green Zone to be here.
Yeah.
And the limb bots are definitely the sturdiest. I mean, it's a cool set regardless. Mm-hmm. The weakest is your namesake, though.
Yes, it's SHOKY for sure.
I hate that fucking.
And as I've discussed,
drive me nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, mine, I even show it in the review. His foot is just dangling. I literally
just flops.
And I zoomed in on it. I'm like, I did the like staged in zoom, like while I'm flopping it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's now Mr. Floppy Feet.
The only thing you can do to keep it from flopping is to plug it back into place, which then locks it in a straight up and down stance, which is dumb.
Yeah. The only thing I could think is that they use the wrong size pins, and that's why there's not enough friction.
Maybe. But I'm thinking about hitting it with some Kiki, and it doesn't matter, because once I put them in combined mode, they're never coming out again.
It's not a problem in any other mode. It's just a problem in bot mode. So I did put a rush order on that, so hopefully it'll ship as soon as it comes in. But I was patient. I'm like, okay, I know that the pre-orders hit, which means there probably wouldn't have been many in stock initially. So I was like, I'll wait till they get all their pre-orders out, and then odds are it'll pop back up like in a day or two. So I was literally checking 6-7 times a day on 4 different websites to see if it would pop up, which, by the way, is still not in stock at TF Source. It's supposed to be in July at TF Source. Wow. So what was it, Saturday morning? Yeah, Saturday morning. I was in here editing, and I just happened to pull up BBTS, and boom, it's in stock. I'm like, purchase. Don't even wait. This fucking thing. It's like, and then ship immediately.
Where's that first batch of pre-orders to come in, because people fail to make payment, and it puts them back in circulation again.
Yeah, but I think they also they just wait, so they make sure that the pre-orders are covered. And then once the pre-orders are out the door, the rest of the stock goes up. That's usually what they do for almost anything. Because I've had that happen.
Because it was a pain in the ass. I think the secondary market on these is going to be crazy. Once people have all these in hand, see how good of a set it is, it's going to be hard.
I do think there will be more waves of it later. I think COVID limited their first couple waves, and then like they push
you don't
it.
Get to say limited with this thing. This fucking 6 bot combiner that just started in January is not going to be complete at the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's crazy.
The way it should be.
Considering it's the quote unquote first thing they've done. Let's see.
It's Zeta, so you'll probably get a box set of them.
Yeah. Oh, that will be great.
Or they'll do a metallic version, some shit like that. They'll pull the Zeta run and do all the different versions of it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're already essentially metallic. Like, they already have they don't have metallic plastic, but they have the metallic finish on everything.
Yeah, but I'm talking about, you've seen the difference between like the Bruticus and the Superion between regular and metallic.
The Superion isn't crazy, because that's the one I have. It's basically the same thing. They used a pearl coat with the metallic clear coat on it, and everything else. But
it's all the red. All the red is made into a metallic red instead of that flat red.
Yeah.
Some of it is. Some of it's actual red metallic paint, but most of it is just like they did with the train bots. It's just a clear metallic over a base paint or base color. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that way
I got the original one. It's very flat looking.
Mm-hmm. Now the silvers and stuff are probably real silver. They're not just metallic clear coat, but either way. I'm happy to have that full set. I just have to decide how I'm going to display it, whether it's going to be full combined mode or the train mode or even the bot mode, because I actually like the bot mode.
It's going to be train mode.
Maybe. I actually like the train
Do
modes.
train mode and then wait for the box set to come out and make that one your combiner mode.
Spend another $650 to buy the whole set.
Well, the box sets are usually about $100 cheaper than buying them individual, which is crazy.
In theory. I mean, the metallic ones usually are more, but the plain release, yeah, you're right. Let's see here. What else? Oh, today I got, just got up in my feels a little bit, and I said, fuck it. I got on Amazon and ordered IDW Transformers Volume 1. So I'm gonna start down another rabbit hole of fucking comic books, going all the way back to the original run of IDW, not the later phases.
You're doing the Lucy versions, or you're doing
the volumes, the hardcover volumes.
Oh, I see.
Yep. So I ordered that today because it was also coincidentally on sale. So it was down to like $35 from the normal 50 something. So worth it. And I'll order volume 2 probably next week because I got another good paycheck coming. Let's see here. What else? Oh, I did get more comics, over the last couple weeks, more Power Rangers / Mighty Morphin comics, because that's still going. They're still on their drive to 100 or whatever they're calling it, to where the Death Ranger comes around. So
real quick before you get too far off subject, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but a lot of those IDW hardbacks are still on BBTS too, just so you know.
Oh, I know. They got them again recently.
Yeah, they're like $60.
Yeah, so that's why I looked at Amazon, because sometimes they have sales, and free shipping. So
sorry to interrupt, but
you're right.
Seeing those not too long ago, so I just went back to check and see if they were still available. They are. Some of them are even on pre-order. So
so they're re-releasing them on a steady schedule. So this is by no means an original. This is probably like the third run or something like that. But yeah, no, I am aware. But for everybody else who doesn't shop on Amazon that way, yes, BBTS does have a lot of hardcovers, because I have several Power Rangers hardcovers also on pre-order, but I didn't know if I wanted to get into the IDW hardcovers, but when I saw it on sale,
all the way up to the ones all the way up to the one with Windblade on the front. From that point forward, it gets kind of off the rails.
Yeah, well, that's phase 3, so that's way later.
Yeah.
So,
but they supposedly wrapped it up too or they're wrapping it up when they lost the license. So,
yeah, there's a whole lot after the reboot. I don't know where they're going. So, okay,
I think Marvel's getting them.
I don't recall. I saw a thing about it, and I forget which way. I think it's going back to Marvel. You're right. The other thing,
now's the best chance to get those IDWs, because those prices are going to go up once IDW loses it for real.
So weird though.
Well, I assume it goes
back to Marvel.
I assume they can reprint though. Like, there's no reason they can't reprint something that they already have done. They can't do anything new with the license, but they can just reprint the shit they've already made. In theory.
You know what? Here's something interesting. If it does go back to Marvel, okay, will they? See, here's the weird thing, okay? Because in the early issues, when it was originally with Marvel, it was, in a sense, part of the Marvel continuity. But then it was kind of like written out of it after a while, right? Because
they had Spider-Man in a couple of them.
Yeah, they had Spider-Man, they had Nick Fury, they had the Savage Land. When Circuit Breaker appeared in Secret Wars.
When they had the balls to do that,
Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, well, for God's sake, I mean, even Godzilla appeared in Marvel Comics, right?
Godzilla's everywhere, dude.
So, well, yeah, but
I mean,
but the
he
thing
just
is,
fought the Power Rangers.
If it does go back to Marvel, are they going to keep it its own separate Transformer universe, or is it going to be part of the Marvel universe?
It'll probably be its own universe.
They'll probably have its own separate thing.
It'll be its own chunk of the multiverse
or something.
Okay,
it'll be a multiverse world probably.
Right.
Yeah. That being said, do you wish it's going to be part of the Marvel universe, or
no,
its own separate Transformers?
I don't want it part of the main continuity, but I wouldn't mind seeing some crossover stuff.
Yeah. Throw in some crossovers sometime, but you got to think also they've done in recent years. They've been doing all these crossovers with Ghostbusters, now G.I. Joe again. What they're doing that, and what was the other one? Star Wars have done it, but what are the other ones?
You know what?
Back to the Future. They had the Back to the Future crossover as well.
Yeah, because you know what? If that does go back to Marvel,
Ninja Turtles.
Okay, then who's to say that G.I. Joe won't go back to Marvel? Plus, ROM, because that was
bringing up ROM.
Because that was part of the Marvel continuity as well.
Yeah, that was
because ROM did play a significant.
I think that
Marvel universe.
I don't know that there's any reason to expect anything right now.
I don't know. One can wish. No.
There, just so you know, Rikki, if you can still hear me, there's an internal chat now within the stream, so you can actually message us when you have to do something. You don't have to do that. It's up in the right corner there. Oh, you did actually.
Oh yeah,
he did. We just didn't see it. Okay.
Ooh.
You gotta pay attention to notifications. Either way, I'll keep talking while Ricky's taking a pee break.
Yeah.
Well, while Ricky's taking a pee break, I'll do this. Okay, so I did. Oh, I also got the trade paperback of the Black Satin comic books. So from the Star Wars comics, you know, our good old Cyber Wookiee, as it were. So they put all the stories that go together into a new trade paperback. So I picked that up just for the hell of it because I like that character and I might as well see where his original canonicity came in.
Right.
Since it's weird now. Let's see, where am I? Okay, also I finished working on the Ecto-1. I don't think I mentioned that last time because I don't think I was done with it previously. I still had work to do on it. So I've wrapped up everything that I need to so far. Just basically cleaned up the fucking kitchen counter because the entire countertop was like just all Ecto-1 parts and other shit. So it works good. Looks good. The blue tube things were the weirdest part. They run up to the roof rack, with all the lights and shit. So those are actually the that's the word I'm looking for, like conduit basically for all of the actual LED wires. So but they're actually made like bendy straws, like it's got that collapsible plastic situation. So they're not as long as I think they're supposed to be, because you would have to extend them and decompress them. And I don't think it'll look right. I mean, I can still make that adjustment later, but for right now, I've got them compacted because it looks the best. So we'll just see once the actual roof rack comes in.
Cool.
And then much like we did with Matt was here, we'll save reviews and critiques of current TV shows and stuff like that for after we do our weeks. So, but I did watch all the boys, so I'm up to current on the boys, on episode 5 of the boys. Watched the newest Kenobis, so we'll talk about Kenobi. Just to kill time whenever we don't have anything important to watch, we've been watching The Floor is Lava on Netflix.
Oh yeah, season 2's out.
What I find weird is I can't tell what order the seasons are in or if they're set as a collection, because it seems like they went backwards, because it looked like what we started watching, which I think was supposed to be the new stuff, was where they had multiple teams go through the room, and then the people with the most amount of points went on to do the volcano challenge with the remaining teammates, and where they had to climb up basically a slime mountain and plug it up. And then it went back to what seems like the old episodes, where the teams only do the main room, and whoever has the most points just wins, and it's over. So I think those are the old episodes, and the new ones are the other ones, but they're like backwards on Netflix for some reason. It's almost like when they do collections instead of seasons, so there's no real order to it. But I also kind of wish it was more like a tournament, like American Gladiator or something like that, where like you'd have a run of characters and then they'd come back and they'd do a different course, and then you'd build up. That would be more fun. It's a dumb fun show, and there's like so much played up bullshit in it. Like when somebody falls in the lava, they're like, no,
and they're sinking into the lava.
I'll tell you what, I know that it's backwards. I know that it's backwards because they had a team come back. It was a set of triplet brothers, and they came back because they failed. So we saw the return episode before their original episode, so it is running backwards.
Oh, that's
so good to know.
Odd.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Yeah, I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I definitely want to, because
the new season is fun. They had some interesting new stuff, but it seems like season 1 was dangerous. Like they did some crazy shit in season 1.
Yeah, that's true.
The other thing is I did finish Ozark, and now I have a completely justified terror of Cadillac Escalades. I think Rikki understands because he also caught up and finished. It's not an irrational fear, because it's definitely a real reason to be scared of seeing random black Escalades wherever you roll up at some place. You're like, oh fuck. So,
I take it you haven't watched the movie Christine.
Oh, I love Christine, but you're not going to run into a 1958 Plymouth Fury anytime soon.
Being here in Ocala, you might have lots of car shows and old people with their old cars. So
yeah, but Plymouth Furies were rare to begin with, let alone seeing one now in pristine or Christine shape for that matter. I think okay, that's not it. What else we got here? Today started watching Love, Death, and Robots on Netflix. Dude,
you're gonna like it.
I know it's just a collection of shorts and like nothing's tied together narratively.
Yeah, it's an anthology series.
It's an anthology series, and I'd always heard it was really good, but like, what was the last one we just watched?
Season 2 is kind of meh.
I heard season 2 was meh, but isn't it is season 3 that just came out? That's actually really good.
Yeah, I'm starting to get through
never
season
seen
3.
any of them.
Okay, it's really good. It's really
season
good.
1 is really good, and season 2 kind of slowish. It's kind of meh, right? Yeah. And I was going to watch a bit more of season 3, and they're really short. Some of them are like
6 minutes. Some of them are like 20 minutes.
15. Yeah, exactly, right.
So, okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to tell you this one thing. Okay, it's not really a spoiler, but the 2 robots, with the cats.
I don't think I've got there.
In season 1. Okay, you haven't got there. Okay, I won't say that then.
Okay, yeah. So the one we just watched was the one with the swarm. So that was which was like totally knew what was going to happen there. Like it was like duh. It's like it's like from the get go. Once they reveal what they're planning on doing, it's like no shit. This is what's going to happen. But like the animation, because most of them are CG. One of them is clearly like a hand-drawn / CG episode. That's with the soldiers and the weird cybernetic bear thing, which was a hilarious episode. It was far more comedy than it was anything else.
Oh, totally.
It seemed like an Archer spinoff almost. It was so absurd.
It kind of does feel like that, doesn't it?
It does. It's very much an Archer episode. But the first like intro episode with the 3 robots touring like the end of humanity was
that's what I'm talking about. With the cats.
Okay. So does that come back?
Yeah, that one. Those guys come back in season 3.
That's cool. Yeah. Like if I wouldn't mind returning to see some of this stuff. I wouldn't. It was pretty good. Yeah. So just started that. I've heard so many good things, and I'm like, it's an anthology series. I can get into it. It's there's nothing to dig into. It's just watch and enjoy. It's like Star Wars Visions.
Ray Bradbury kind of theater kind of stuff in a way.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Oh, okay.
But season 2 is kind of slowish.
Okay. I'll watch it probably a little bit tomorrow. I do have to run down to Houston to get some car parts tomorrow because my car doesn't exactly have stuff sitting on the shelf for it. It's a little old. But I need a new oil pan, and I need an oil catch can for anybody who has a turbo vehicle. Oil catch cans tend to save your motor a little bit, and I don't have one, and it's causing a lot of fucking issues. And so I need one, so I might as well pick one up while I'm there. If I'm already going to get an oil pan, might as well get a catch can while I'm at it.
I suppose.
Yeah. Well, that's half the problem is like, I do have a minor oil leak, like very minor actual oil leak. But the problem with the pan is the plug is almost completely stripped. It's just barely held in there with like half a thread. And they told me at the dealership that if next time I got an oil change, I'd have to replace the oil pan because it's an aluminum pan. You can't really redo it. Steel pan, you could drill it out, retap it, put a bigger bolt. Aluminum, it's a lot less forgiving. And you could try like one of the weird expanding bolts, but that just runs into problems in and of itself. You could end up cracking the pan, things like that. But a new pan is only like $158. So I'm like, fuck it. Just buy a new pan. I got to get the gasket and all that nonsense. So I'm going to pick up all that tomorrow because I got a really good paycheck this past week. So I was like, perfect. However, I did get pulled over and got a ticket. So I do. So many years later, I have to finally go get my car inspected and registered.
Oh no!
I'm just happy they didn't impound my fucking car. Because in certain counties, they take your car away if your shit is past a certain amount of time. So hopefully, once again, it's just inspection and registration. So
here in Canada, you'll get a ticket about almost $3,000.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Inspections in Florida anymore, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Most counties, they don't either. During COVID, they eliminated all that, which is one reason why I didn't have to do it for like 2 years. The first time, we were literally dead broke. So I was like, I literally could not afford to even bother. We got the wife's taken care of because she was driving far more than me. So she was having to drive down into Houston like a lot for work. So we had to make sure her car was taken care of. So we did that. We left mine alone. I said, I'll get it next year or in a few months or something. So, and then COVID happened, put it off, didn't care. And then here we are in the modern world where they give a shit. I got pulled over because I have no front license plate, but that's not my fault. That's the way the car came to me. You know,
Right.
It's like, doesn't have a bracket. There's nowhere to bolt it in. So it's like, I just have the license plate in the back seat. And so that's just a warning, but I got to take it for the tags being out. So gonna take care of that.
Would they expect you to drill holes through your bumper and put a bracket there or something?
Yeah, sometimes. But like when they hear that it didn't have one, that's one thing. Because I mean, like certain cars don't. You know, like certain high end, like they have to modify like certain high end vehicles to do that. You know, other one. I mean, not that mine's a high end vehicle, but you know, if somebody like obviously mine was used to begin with, so whoever had it originally got rid of the license plate bracket and all that kind of stuff. I don't even know that it's a factory bumper because it doesn't have any holes in it. So
Weird.
yeah, not to mention finding a factory bracket would be pretty difficult in and of itself, and I don't feel like cutting anything out of sheet metal and blocking off my intercooler in the first place. So anyways, so that's a bullshit law having a license plate on the front end. It's so stupid. You know, there's so many states and other counties that don't even care. It's like they just need to get rid of it, you know.
No, here in Alberta, we're given a choice. You want it in the front or you want it in the back. And you only have
That's what she said.
Damn it.
Yeah,
beat me to
you
it.
only have to have one.
Well, I hope you only have the one because it would be a DP otherwise.
Well, no, because in some provinces here, you have to have two license plates, one in the front, one in the back.
Yep.
So,
yep.
But here in Alberta,
that's what we're talking about is license plates. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the other thing is yesterday, me and the wifey went and saw Jurassic World Dominion.
He's sighing.
He muted himself. He didn't even realize it.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
So, I definitely rambled on for way too long, but since Rikki hasn't been here and even longer than all of us, I'm going to let Rikki go next.
Oh. I'm just gonna skip to this past week because I'm old and don't remember what I did for weeks and weeks at a time.
Well, you did baseball.
Baseball. 2 weekends in a row we had baseball tournaments. They won out their final tournament. It was very big and kind of emotional because it's the last time a lot of them will get to play together as a team because some of them are aging out, including my kid. He actually aged out of the team, so we're going to figure out something else for him in the fall. And then some of them are moving to different states and stuff. So this is the last time they got to actually play together as a full team, and they've been together for years.
Wow.
Damn.
It's kind of heartbreaking anyway.
Yeah, you know, to see them crying and stuff, it was even the adults. I mean, all our feels kind of kicked in. It was a thing. But it was nice. They got to go out on a big win. They beat the crap out of these teams. They did great. They played good, and they put their hearts on the field on that for that one. So that was good. Watched a bunch of TV. Obi-Wan and The Boys. I haven't seen the newest episode of The Boys yet. I'm up to 4.
Dude, that was some good shit, man.
Obi-Wan, I'm all caught up on. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but I told y'all so. What else? So for Father's Day, my kids wanted to take me to see the movies, to go to the movies. And ironically, I told Kara that I wanted to go to the movies with them for Father's Day. So we did both. You know, I kept it a secret from them and they kept it a secret from me. They wanted to take me to go see Maverick. So we saw that. But I wanted to take them to see Lightyear. So we actually went and we just did a double feature. We got the big tubs and the big drinks that you get free refills on. And we went to Lightyear first. As soon as that was done, we went out, refilled our popcorn and our drinks, and went back in and watched Maverick in the other theater.
Right.
Nice. Haven't seen either of those yet.
Really
Maverick,
good.
Good.
Which one do I need to see?
Maverick.
Okay.
Maverick.
I think Maverick might be better than the original. And it's hard to say that with a straight face because my kids and I were talking because they've never seen the original. And they're asking me why I thought it was better. I'm like, well, technically they're two different movies. Like to me, like the 80s is the original was action with a little bit of romance. This one was action and adventure with a little bit of romance. So it had extra.
Hold on. There was a little bit of romance, but there was a fuck ton of bromance.
Oh yeah.
There was an enormous amount of bromance in the first one. Lots of homoerotic volleyball.
Well, it's only homoerotic if you want to look at it that way, because a bunch of guys playing volleyball is a thing. Whether it's sexualized or not is up to you watching it.
Oh, it was
so that's your choice.
Definitely sexualized. Come on.
Yeah, for the ladies, the fact that you consider it sexualized,
That's right.
that's between you and your maker, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to talk to your
Don't judge
wife.
me for
Bring her
how
on this
I was
thing.
born, Ricky.
Go get your wife on here so I can talk to her.
Oh, stop.
I don't know if
God.
she's seen the original. If I'm gonna be honest.
But it was really good. Lightyear was good. Like I really liked it. You were right, but you were wrong at the same time.
Mhm.
I guess no, you were right, but they didn't do some of the stuff you hoped they did.
I figured I found that out. I double checked. So yes, I know they didn't do the zoom out to the Toy Story movie, like
the theater.
yeah.
But they literally opened it up with like a Star Wars crawl, you know, saying that Andy bought the toy in 95 or 96 whenever the original came out. It's because he loved the movie, and this is that movie that he watched.
But wouldn't it have been more fun to not get that crawl and get that zoom out to the do it super
I would have been
meta?
okay with both either way.
Yeah.
Like even if they showed that and then they showed them back. But the problem is the way that was worded. We were watching the movie after he had already seen it, so they'd have to have changed the wording some.
This is a DVD release.
Yeah, but it was good. Like I appreciated it, and it also makes sense to explain away why Tim Allen's not doing the voice and all that stuff.
Yeah, because Tim Allen is the toy, not Buzz,
and this is Captain America,
and he does a good job.
Yeah, he does do a good job. A couple times you'd think he's trying to be Tim Allen, but in reality, I guess the way they have their universe set up, Tim Allen was trying to do his voice.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know. It's a little meta and confusing, but it was nice. It was fun. Kids had a blast. The movies were good. The story was pretty good in Lightyear.
I've seen some spoilers, unfortunately, for Buzz.
Maverick has some great flight action in it. Like some of the stuff they do in there. There's one when you finally do get to see it, you'll know exactly what I'm saying without even telling you the whole thing. They're against they just kept calling them the 5th gen.
Yeah. The new
guys.
The new MiGs.
No, they look like F-22s really to
They
me.
do.
Like,
Yeah.
they look very much like
Raptors.
F-22s, but with like a different paint scheme on them.
Yeah.
But they kept calling them Gen 5 or 5th gen or modern gen, whatever they called them. Well, there's one where they're fighting against a few of them, and this one goes sideways, dead stalls, and just lets them shoot past him while he's rotating so that he doesn't hit any of them. Like he corkscrews his way through the middle of the ships that are the two jets that are flying at him. Like it's fucking. I was like, holy shit! And even in the movie, the guys. I want to say the guys in the movies even went, holy shit! Like when it happened, like I said, like at the same time, like it was like the coolest thing to see happen. And to think that none of it's CGI, there was at least a stunt pilot up there doing some crazy shit like that is like next level. It was really cool. I enjoyed it.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking at the plane.
And some of it is Tom Cruise too, flying. Like actual flying.
What they did is they rebuilt the cockpits. So normally your pilot's in the front seat and your co-pilot's in the back seat. Well, they rerouted it so that the stick and everything that controlled everything was actually routed to the co-pilot in the back. And they put Tom Cruise in the front seat with like a dead stick that he could act like he was flying, but the guy behind him was actually flying. That's why you never really see a close-up of the co-pilot's face from the front. It's only when they go back to the co-pilot you see who the co-pilot is. That's the real pilot in the back.
That's a cool
and they were really
plane.
doing like you could see it. You could see like these guys were really pushing the G's. I don't think they were doing like the 8, 9, and 10 G's that they were supposed to be doing in the movie. But there's times when, what's his name, Miles Teller, whatever his name is, the guy from him and Tom Cruise. You can see it on their face. The G's actually hitting. You can see their faces smushing flat just from the weight of the G's.
Oh yeah,
no, it's just how Tom Cruise looks.
Shit. Yeah,
that's his actual face.
Yeah. You better hope not, because whatever plastic surgery the Church of Scientology gave him makes him look a lot better than what these G's did to him. So,
not bad for 58.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I told my kids, like they're like, were any of those people in the old movie? I'm like, yeah, the main guy was in the old movie. They're like, oh man, how old is he? I was like, I think he's in his 60s.
Nice.
And they're like, no. I'm like, I'm pretty sure. And I had my wife look it up. It was like 59. I was like, close enough.
Yeah.
I do like they have the classic planes in there too. They got the F-18, F-14. couple
I'm not
spots.
going to give you any spoilers, but there are a bunch of different ships and stuff. And
I know they're in there. That's because the one thing
show
is
up for different reasons, and
Yeah.
it is plot driven why they happen. So I don't want to give it away.
well, we gotta have the only way to beat the high tech is to bring out the low tech.
Nope.
I know. I just
You're
had
not
to say
even
that.
you're not even close to
We
getting it
can't,
right.
we can't use our
Yep.
modern planes because they're
Nope.
networked. We have to go to
Nope.
the ones that are binary.
Not even getting it right.
I'm just fucking with you.
That's right.
Not even close. You're not even in the ballpark.
I don't care. But no,
I don't care.
don't,
I don't care if I'm wrong. You shut up.
no, in this case, I don't care if I'm wrong. I just know they're in there. Well,
My
the other
dad
thing
beat
is
up your
this.
dad.
Well, because what is the name? What is the name of this game? Oh, Ace Combat 7 has all the planes from the movie in it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Oh yeah, it's definitely in. They are definitely in there, man. And
Yeah.
it's still. Let me tell you, that the Tomcat is still probably one of my favorite just jet designs.
Mhm.
Like it always has been. I guess it's a nostalgia thing from when I was a kid between G.I. Joe, Top Gun, those old like we were talking about earlier about the models. Like I used to build jet models and stuff. My uncle was in the Navy as a mechanic, and he was on the Nimitz, and he used to work on those jets and stuff, and he has pictures of them in the mechanics bay, and he has pictures on the flight deck, and like when they show you on carriers, that little elevator that takes him up to the flight deck, like he's got pictures of him and his friends riding up with jets on that. And so I mean, I'm very nostalgic to that ship to begin with, and it's just it's amazing to see it back in action again. Like even knowing that it's a fully retired vehicle at this point, like even the people that buy secondhand crap aren't buying those anymore. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It is.
It really was a beautiful plane design.
You know what's funny? It's like I've always been I'm a fan of a much uglier plane. I'm a Warthog fan. Good old A10.
Oh, are you?
I love A10
Mhm.
Warthogs, man.
Those are
I
neat.
don't think they're ugly. They're just they're tanks is what they are.
It's a
They're tanks with
workhorse.
fucking
It's a
wings.
tank, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
it's a tank with wings. It's not supposed to be the fast, pretty one.
Yeah.
It's
But-
a bullet sponge that drops bombs on people.
Yeah. So I was always a fan. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the fighter jets. I love, the F-18, F-14, F-16, all those. I do love all of those as well because of what was it? Independence Day made the F-18 like very
Hornets,
famous
yeah.
on screen.
Yeah.
Obviously Top Gun
Yeah.
made the F-14 pretty famous. So
But the Tomcats to this day, man, the F-18s always look like the inbred retarded cousin of the 14 to me. I
It's
didn't.
fucking
I didn't
terrible.
like them.
it's fucking terrible. I mean, F-22s are really cool. Don't get me wrong. What is the?
They're a cool design, but they're also very
They
weird
are.
looking.
They're more
Like, when
stealthy
you-
though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They're meant to be stealthy.
I get that. That's literally what their job is. But if you
Flying
look
Dorito.
at them,
Yeah.
like from the top, they look like a smushed pancake.
Mhm.
Like it's really weird how they're shaped from the
There's-
top. Straight
Mhm.
on, they're very beautiful looking straight at them.
Yeah.
From the side, they're very sleek, but from the top, they look like a puddle of oil on the ground. Like it's all globular
Yeah.
and misshaped.
Yeah.
There's one that came out after that. That's a single thruster one. And I think it might be a VTOL, but I can't remember the number on it.
The Raptor has a VTOL system in it.
Yeah, but it's got the twin thrusters out the back.
It depends on which one, because they have the Navy, the Air Force, and
No,
the
that's
Marine
true.
versions of the Raptor, and they're all slight variations.
But I
of
know
them.
it was
So
a
one of
different.
them
I know it was a different number.
No.
Let me see.
Was
if
it
I
the
can-
F-35?
It might have been the F-35 as I just started
Yeah.
typing it in. Hold on, let me go look. Yeah, F-35. Yep, that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking of. I like that one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know it came up on Nerd Rage when they talked about the movie originally when Chris went and saw it. And they
that
were
was a
talking
while
about
ago.
yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. And Joe brought up the movie Stealth,
Yes, I remember Stealth.
which is a
Stealth.
better
Oh,
popcorn jet fighter movie.
Two different movies.
God.
Two
Yeah.
different movies. No,
Agreed.
No, but I'm saying for a
Uh,
very specific reason. I'm talking about just dumb fun, or okay, even
just
throw in the
dumb
original.
fun. Stealth.
Okay,
Stealth is dumb fun. Top Gun is not dumb fun. Top
Right.
Gun
I agree.
Maverick touches all the nostalgic points in the right areas.
Yeah.
They handle a lot of the backstory very well.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, it has awesome fighter scenes in it. And then it has some on ground action scenes it's all very well put together. I would pay closer attention to Maverick than I would Stealth. Stealth is definitely that one I just put on, just kind of chomp popcorn and just be in and out of paying attention to.
Yeah.
I'm just there to watch Jessica Biel be hot in a flight suit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's almost sci-fi-ish.
Oh, it's definitely
Yeah.
sci-fi.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. The
Well,
ridiculous
yeah.
jets plus the AI controlled jet. you know,
Exactly.
which is based on.
And it was okay. It was okay, but this one's definitely a better movie. That one's more of a popcorn, turn your brain off movie.
That's what I said. Which one was a better popcorn movie? So yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. I would say Stealth is the turn off your brain to your popcorn movie. Maverick is one. Okay, we were at the theater.
The thinking man's fighter jet movie.
We were at the theater with the electronic layback chairs with like the foot things that come up and all that.
Oh, the AVX kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of them have
recliners
now.
A couple times in the movie, I literally put my seat up and sat on the edge of my seat, paying attention to what was happening. Like it was. I was way more engaged in this than I was in Stealth.
I do have a question though, just real quick for these type of movies. One that I keep telling Joe he needs to watch because of his love of Nick Cage, and I don't think they've watched it yet for movie night. It's called The Firebirds, but I don't know.
Never watched it.
But it's not planes; it's Apache helicopters.
You know what?
Oh, wait a minute.
Hold on. No, I haven't seen it, but I might have seen clips and stuff throughout the years because as soon as you said Nick Cage and helicopters, I kind of clicked in a little.
Let me double check and make sure it's not Thunderbirds, but I'm pretty sure it's a Firebirds. Give me a second.
Thunderbirds is old. Thunderbirds is an old.
I'm aware of that, but it doesn't mean they wouldn't borrow the title.
Well, that and they made a live action, and that was John.
They're also a malt liquor.
I might have said it. Hold on.
They're also a malt liquor. Thunderbird.
Nick
I don't know about that shit.
Let me just double check, make sure that's the name of the movie. It might not have been. I might have been Thunderbirds, and I got it wrong.
It's also a Native American spirit bird.
That's true.
No.
Is that it? Right
I live in.
It's not the. It's not the. It's just Firebirds.
Firebirds.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's an Apache. It's very much Top Gun, but with Apaches. And it's a bit cheesier because it's Nick Cage.
Gotcha.
But it has most of the same beats. But my favorite line of the movie, and it is delivered by Nick Cage. I'm killing him now. It's so fucking bad. But it's a fun movie. It is a fun movie because in their case, they have an ace pilot who is killing off their guys.
Gotcha.
So there's an ace helicopter pilot who is killing their people, and they've got to do this. And he goes through the whole training on how to pilot an Apache properly. It's piloted smaller helicopters, trying to deal with the different abilities, like where you got to have the monocle or the monocle thing, trying to train yourself to see what's on the camera and in real life with two different eyes, all kinds of crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
It's a cool movie. Nobody's ever seen it that I know of.
Nope.
So,
I think I might have seen clips of it because it sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't think I've ever actually seen the movie.
We brought it up a long time ago. If you're fans of Airwolf and you like a lot of helicopter porn, if you like helicopter porn, this is the movie for you.
Yeah. All right, and then a couple other quick things about Maverick real quick. One, be prepared for the Tom Cruise cliches of him running like he does in The Firm. Like
and riding a motorcycle.
Yeah, that's definitely going to happen in the movie.
Yeah, because that's in the trailer.
2, Jennifer Connelly is still hot and she can still get it.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Like, I looked my wife dead in the face at the theater and I was like, she could still get it. She's like, yeah, she's still hot. I was like, okay. And then the one that I was actually surprised by was Miles Teller.
Is still hot too.
Yeah, he could get it too, but
he could never get it. Shut up.
There's a part in there where he's wearing the Hawaiian shirt with the aviators and stuff.
Yeah,
and he looks so much like Anthony Edwards when he was young. It's crazy. Now, once the glasses come off, you totally see.
Oh, he's playing his son, right? He's playing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's playing the little kid from the first movie growing up.
Yeah,
in
That's
this
right.
one.
That's right.
And it's such a splitting image.
Like when you see him with the outfit, like the Hawaiian shirts and his khakis and his
the
aviators,
mustache and the mustache,
like those some of those 3/4 profiles and from the back shots, like you would swear that was Anthony Edwards.
Exactly. Exactly. It was Goose all over again.
You know what's funny is I didn't realize that was Miles Teller. I saw him in the trailer. I didn't realize it was Miles Teller.
You know what?
So funny.
And I had to do a double take. It's like, oh my God, this is the same guy that in 2015. Exactly. It's like, wow. Okay, he's doing so much better.
He's a great actor, dude. He's in The Offer. The one that I was telling you all about, The Offer on Amazon or Paramount.
Yeah.
He's the main guy in that. And that just wrapped up last week. That's another thing I did. I finished watching The Offer.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, no, kudos to him. He did a fantastic
He did
job in
awesome.
this movie.
It was awesome.
You know, it's
Fantastic.
funny. He looks like a combination of oh shit.
And then he did Footloose, that Footloose remake too.
Yes, he did.
So he's touching a lot of 80s properties, man. He better be careful he don't get himself niched into a fucking
He
pigeonhole.
he looks like a combination of Shia LaBeouf and
No,
no.
talking.
Hold on, no. Let me finish.
Next question.
Let me finish.
Tell him, Mike. Next. That's a segue, y'all.
No, what's God damn it? What's his name? I just drawing a blank on his fucking name. He's the one who just did the whole speech at the White House about after the.
You lost me at Shia LaBeouf.
McConaughey?
Yeah, he looks like a combination of Matthew McConaughey and Shia LaBeouf in this movie. Like he's got
What kind of crack do they have out in Texas? That's some
You know
crazy
what?
ass-
That's odd because I can almost
Hold on. Look at this one picture. I'm gonna bring it to camera just real quick. I'm
Okay.
gonna bring it
All
to camera. Look at this, and it's from the movie, I think. Yeah. So
All right.
let's see here.
That looks like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so but that's him
yeah.
in this movie,
I know. I just saw the movie
and
yesterday.
then there he's got a little bit more Shia LaBeouf in this, especially with the mustache.
Oh, okay. I see
See
you're
what I'm
talking
saying?
about.
Like in
that.
different
I'm not
images,
giving
he
you that.
very much looks like a
I'm not
combination.
giving you that at all.
Shut up and give it to me.
Even if I
That's
agree with
what
you,
she said.
that's what she said.
Okay, so this image right here, that's very Shia LaBeouf.
In a way, a touch. Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
well, then go.
With
Oh,
the-
you
like a
should
little
have
wavy
known.
hair.
Okay,
Just
so
like
don't
John
think Transformers.
Barenthal.
So don't think Transformers Shia LaBeouf. Think like a couple years later in his later movies.
Look
when
at
he's
that
crazy.
haircut and the mustache. He looks like John Barenthal, and We Own the Night. Get the fuck out of here.
He does.
Do it. Do it.
But no,
Fuck outta
he does have some McConaughey going on there
Turn your
in the
fucking
jawline.
camera off. You got some McConaughey inside of you. Get the fuck out of here.
Nah, dude, he needs a fucking shower. That motherfucker doesn't
Fucking
shower.
hippie naked
He's old-
bongo
he's-
player.
Oily as fuck.
Yeah.
Claims to be
But,
from Texas, that Lincoln selling motherfucker.
So
Sell a real
that was
car.
watch those. The Boys. I'm up to not the newest. I gotta watch the newest episode.
Dude, the newest
that,
episode has some crazy shit.
that first 15 minutes of the season 3, episode 1 might be
Oh.
the craziest shit I've ever seen on film.
Can I I was about to say, can I insert something here? And then I realized what you just said.
No.
I forgot.
Just don't sneeze.
I forgot. So I'm not going to sneeze. I'm not doing a pile of coke. I'm not going to sneeze. I forgot something from my week. My not nerd
Go
week.
for it.
Fuck. Did watch the first 2 episodes of Miss Marvel with the wife.
I've seen the first one. My kids have watched both.
The first
I haven't
episode
seen
is
the second
actually
one
pretty
yet.
good in my opinion. The
Here's the
second
deal.
episode goes downhill.
It was decent. It was trying so hard to be into the Spider-Verse. It might as well have been an animated movie.
No, you know what I think it is?
My problem is I don't care.
Oh, I
didn't
don't care
I
either.
didn't care
Yeah.
about her character in the comics,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this didn't make me change my mind about her.
Do you know what I think this is?
I'm not a 12-year-old girl, so this show's not meant for me anyways.
True. So you said Into the Spider-Verse. You know what I think it more is?
What?
Turning Red. It is a lot like Turning Red, the Pixar movie.
I know what you're talking about, but it's so much like the Spider-Verse.
No,
like
no,
with
I
the-
get that
the
too, but
words
but-
and the onomatopoeias popping up, faded into the background, so it
yes,
looks like
but
it was
they did
part
the
of a
same
sign and
thing
stuff.
in Turning Red.
Well, I'm
And she
sorry
had
to say I
her
didn't watch
same-
Turning Red because it was about a little girl having
It's a
her
good
first
movie.
period, and I don't have any.
She doesn't have her
connection with
period at
that.
all. That's the
No,
fucked
that's
up
what the whole movie is supposed
It's
to be
about how women are internally monsters, is what it is.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Either way.
it
But
talks to me,
the
so.
aspect of the spoilers for Miss Marvel, the bangle that she wears that gives her powers, so to speak, is passed down through the family.
That's in the comics,
and it seems
That's not a
I
spoiler.
don't know the comics at all. I'm just talking about the series. So the same thing in Turning Red. The power is passed down through the family from female to female, very much in a similar way to this. And not to mention the sort of the mild Asian comparison there. No,
She's Pakistani or something.
she's Pakistani, but that's still the Asian.
That's some of my favorite parts of that show is her interactions with
the
her
cultural
family.
stuff. Yeah,
The cultural stuff is beautifully.
The-
I mean, the show is good.
Yeah.
That's I was trying to tell. I was talking with Brink about it. Is like the show is good. I just don't give a fuck. Like it's not something that
I
I
don't
care
care either.
about. So
Well,
I
the
don't
thing
care
is,
how-
it's had the lowest premiere viewership numbers of any Disney Plus Marvel series
Yeah, but I don't even care about that
right now.
Like, I don't care about the premiere numbers. I don't
I
care
don't
about
know.
any of that. I care about whether I like the show or not.
Well, I mean,
Whether-
if you like it,
Because
yeah,
it's a
then
very
great.
niche character, so you're definitely going to lose those numbers.
But again,
it's-
I have a friend of mine that's also Pakistani on top
Mhm.
of that, and Muslim, nice guy, and he's like, "Oh my god, I just could not wait to turn this show off because it's like everything a constant talking about." It's to him, he said it was like a constant reminder that we're Pakistani, right? And he got sick and tired of it.
yeah, there's a lot of tropes.
So
in
and
it.
this coming from another Pakistani Muslim guy.
Yeah, but it's also coming from a
Because
guy.
most
And we know
most,
that they don't treat women in the same.
No.
Manner.
And I mean, he's pretty.
Not to be racist about it, but they
no.
bring that up though. The episode two
Yeah.
2 really goes into deep on the cultural stuff with them. Like most of the episode is about that,
Mhm.
and then has a little bit of superhero antics in it. But
So my thing is, didn't care about her before. I don't care how good the show is. Doesn't make me care about her now. My kids are watching it, so I'll probably just wait till it's all done and just binge it all just to say that I watched it.
yeah, I think it's better as a binge.
I didn't like her. I didn't like her powers before. I thought she was just it was kind of like when we were talking about a few episodes ago when we talked about them making transgender and homosexual and lesbian characters. Is don't take a pre-existing character and make it that. Create a new character that just happens to be that. Yeah. And my problem with her is she's just Mr. Fantastic. And in the comics and stuff, her power is she could just stretch. She does the stretchy stuff.
Yeah,
and
she didn't have any other cool stuff.
The way they showed it in this was weird. The light power thing.
It's a hard light construct. So basically, she's you know what they did? They turned her into Green Lantern.
They took a little bit of Green Lantern, a little bit of Mr. Fantastic, and jizzed all over it with Captain Marvel. And called her Miss
she herself doesn't stretch. She just projects the arm from her own arm. And I mean, like, and the cool one thing I like, the only thing I like about the series is it's somebody who has no fucking clue what they're doing, who has been granted powers. And that's where I kind of like it, where they have to develop as a character and they're not someone who is just already good at it, you know, where they still have to fucking figure it out, especially with the whole backstory that's being built on it, whatever that's going to be. You know, probably an alien artifact from God knows where, you know.
And in the comics, she was an Inhuman.
Yeah, they're saying something about enhanced. Hey, dear.
Yeah. In the comics, she was an Inhuman, so she went through the mist and all that crap and had the powers when she came out the other side. So, we'll see. But like I said, good. Just don't care. Didn't make me change my mind on it. What else? I think that pretty much wraps it for me, man. Like I've been redoing my office, moving stuff around, reorganizing. Starting to pack up my masterpiece stuff for my downscaling to legends. Got a couple legends on the way.
Sorry,
You're good. The wife was talking, so I just kept going.
Yeah, I at least muted this time. She was asking when we were going to the pool.
I'm
like
pretty much.
Hey, we're not even at 2 hours just yet, so we're good.
Yeah,
Let's keep.
And we're already starting to wind down, so
yeah, we still got more to talk about.
I've never gotten to my week yet.
Yeah, Mike hasn't done his week, and we have one major topic to talk about. So,
dude, my week was 30 minutes. This 2 hour show been SHOKY talking.
I know it was. I'm sorry, but I mean, it's also what happens when we miss a week. We got a lot to talk about. So we're not even getting really into news. There's actually some news I wanted to talk about, and I don't think we'll fit it in this week because we don't. Well, I mean, we could, but it's an interesting topic. But we should let Mike go anyways because Mike has
pretty
news.
That's pretty much mine anyway. So
yeah.
I don't think I have anything else. Mike can fire off his.
Roll with it.
All right. Let's see. This week I got the Fans Toys, Soundwave, and cassettes. I'm still disappointed that it doesn't have a buzzsaw.
Do you mean the Fans Toys or do you mean the Robot
Paradise?
Paradise. I almost called it Robot Island.
Yes, that one.
I thought you already had that Soundwave for some reason.
No, he said the tapes.
No,
he got the tape set.
It's not bad. I do like the toony look of it. It's okay. It's nice. It's great.
I don't care about it at all.
Yeah, my daughter loves it, and she has it.
Soundwave is the dumbest character.
Shelf.
You shut
up,
your mouth.
Nuh-uh.
Well, I also brought that up because I saw the last thing that Rikki shared in our chat.
It's like blasphemy right there. He was
the one.
He was the one that I wanted when I was a kid. I wanted Soundwave. Right.
Well, he was my favorite.
Loved it.
Always.
Yeah. Did they ever make one that worked?
Yeah, the actual cassette
Yes,
man
it's
from
the Japanese
Japan
one.
played. Yeah,
Oh,
the
did
actual
it?
cassette man.
Yep,
Yeah,
came with earphones and everything.
No shit.
earphones and everything. They hollowed it out to bring it over here to America.
That makes
make it
sense.
You know what?
Of
I
course.
might find another Masterpiece Soundwave and probably do that. I'd love to mod one to actually work.
Well, I mean, at this point, you put
They
an
have
MP3 player
ones
in it.
out. They have
Yeah.
one that does that. There's a transforming MP3 player Soundwave that actually works. Look it up. It's
Makes
a real
sense.
thing.
Oh
And
yeah,
then they
no,
had one that was a
'Cause
tablet.
You
that
can put like the whole
transformed.
thing in his back or in the leg. You can just stuff the entire MP3 player in there.
Yep.
yeah. I actually have one of those. The
Oh,
the
you know,
music label one.
you know, what'd be cool
Yeah.
is it if you put the chest is actually like a tiny LCD screen, and it would show a tape playing inside.
I think I saw somebody do that once.
That would be kind of
Anyway,
cool. Either way,
so I got that. I'm waiting for the last of my 3 trains to show up now that I have funds finally going to be coming in.
which trains do you currently have?
The Moon Studio ones.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
which ones?
Oh, sorry, the bottom half, right from
Okay.
the legs down.
Oh, that's right. You
So
said
you
you
have
got
the
train
pants
pants.
and
You
legs,
mentioned you got
yeah.
the train pants before.
Yeah, that's right. A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah.
He
So-
is the train pants is the worst transformation.
Oh, hold on. We missed the obvious pun here. Track pants.
Track pant. Oh God,
Do you want me to tell you what's the
How do
funniest
we-
thing about this
how
set?
did we forget that? How do we not know that?
The funniest thing about this set to me is the pants, the gray and orange guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Iron
he
crotch.
is he's Iron Arm.
No, he's Iron Crotch.
He's Iron Arm.
I know what the
he's
name
the
is,
leg.
but he's the Iron Crotch.
No, in my head, he's just got the baby arm holding a baseball underneath that hip skirt.
shut
So they
up.
call him Iron Arm.
It's a giraffe eating an apple.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got those coming in. As for movies, yeah, like Rikki saw Maverick. It's freaking amazeballs. My God, everything is just a perfect. Well, okay, I shouldn't say perfect, but it was a great nod off to
Great nod off.
the original Top Gun
Nod
movie.
off.
Not perfect, but it's about as close as you can get with a 30-year-old.
It's a 9
Exactly.
out of 10.
I just find it so silly that some people are saying, "Oh no, it's just it's just emphasizing toxic masculinity." It's like, dude, shut up. Okay, this was everything that fan service should be in a movie. I love the way that in the beginning of the movie, Tom Cruise is like thanking the audience for being so patient for this movie that was supposed to come out like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute since they started it.
Yeah. To come and finally watch this movie.
You know
I
why
mean,
it took so long?
Who
It's 'cause
does that?
You know why it took so long? He was hand building an F-14 in his garage, so it took
Yeah.
a while.
So, but no, I mean, it's a great movie. It was really, really good.
Is it streaming anywhere, or do I have to try to go find the last theater still playing? it?
I would find it in the movie theater.
I assume it's
before
Paramount, right?
gone. Yeah.
Okay.
You're still talking about Top Gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You definitely want to see that in theater at least
You,
one time.
you have to.
Yeah,
If you
I
do not see
guess.
it, you will kick yourself.
I mean,
I
I
swear.
I've got really loud speakers.
Because when I was in the
no.
movie theater, there were guys that were there like 3-4 times going to watch it all over again. Right?
Jerking
It's
off
that good of a
every
movie.
time.
You want to see it at least
Exactly.
once in theater. Just trust me on that.
You have to. Yeah. You
Like I said, I
definitely
got
have
to find the theater that's still
So-
playing it at this point because it's summertime and they're packing out the
Our
theaters every
fancy
week.
theater still has it, so it's not.
Yeah, same here.
It's not
Um,
that old. Dude. It's only been out for like a month.
No,
Exactly.
it was perfect. Perfect movie. Well,
Okay.
okay, maybe not
It was
perfect,
nearly
but
perfect.
Perfect
Yeah.
30-year-old
It
sequel.
was the
I
perfect
would-
sequel to Top Gun.
that's
Mhm.
right. I would give it definitely an A plus.
I'd give
So-
it a B plus A minus somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we need Top Gun Iceman,
No,
starring
No, you
Val
don't.
Kilmer's ghost.
no, yeah, okay, fine. So
Oh,
no,
okay. So
all right.
Shoki already looked up all the
Yeah, okay.
spoilers.
Let's see.
I
Another
listened to
movie that
Nerd
I
Rage. They
watched
talked about it.
Another movie that I watched was Everything Everywhere at Once. With that what's her name? Michelle
Yo.
Yo.
There's what mattered.
Um,
They had data in it.
that was, you know what?
The other data.
That was pretty good.
There's a pow.
It's very different.
It's short
it
round,
is.
isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely short round. So I actually
I
had to
heard
do
it was
double take. It's
good.
like, oh my God, that is short round. That is short round.
Mhm.
So that plays her husband, right?
Yep.
This is the first thing that he's done since like Goonies.
Yeah.
Or
in a
he's done
long
small
time.
stuff that nobody bothered to see. Yeah.
Pretty much, right?
He like got out because he didn't like the representation.
Well, yeah, for ages he's been living in Vancouver, right? He hasn't really done anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Since
if you
Goonies.
think about the
So-
horrible racial stereotypes he played in his first two major roles, I can see why
Well,
he
yeah,
wouldn't
pretty
want to
much.
play with Hollywood very much.
Yeah, kind of. But no, this was it's not a bad movie. It's not like, you know, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness kind of movie whatsoever.
Mhm.
It's got a very interesting plot.
This sort of struck me as like the movie The One, like in its version of the multiverse.
Lee the one?
Yeah.
It's
No, I mean in that version of a multiverse.
yeah,
Like it seemed
sort of
like how she's like the best version of herself of all the multiverse or something like that, or they needed.
yeah, but it's definitely not that. It's actually quite the opposite.
Well, I'm not saying they're like going around killing them and the power is consolidating
No,
between the remaining ones.
but you do find out who is after her. I'm not going to spoil it for you in case you do want to watch it.
I have a guess. I'm not going to
okay.
say it, but I have a guess. You
All
can
right,
confirm
fine.
it later.
All right, good enough.
I could edit it out, but I don't feel like
I'm,
doing that.
I'm not surprised,
Ding dong, so nobody can see it.
but the one that plays her father, you know, he was like in Big Trouble in Little China, and you know, like a few other
Oh,
You talking about the wizard guy that shot lightning?
Yeah. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking to? He's like 90 something right now, right?
Yeah, probably now, but he's always looked 90 something.
I was gonna say all.
Yeah,
they
that's
all.
true. But well, yeah, maybe.
Balls.
But he's in there, so it's nice to see him again. Play the dad and whatnot, and
Oh, I forgot Jamie Lee Curtis was in it. Oh, was it James Hong?
yeah,
Is it
Yeah,
James
James
Hong?
Hong.
Yeah, he's been in everything,
and
dude.
Jamie, oh, dude, yeah, I know.
Jamie
right?
Lee Curtis, they made her
And
ugly in this movie.
They did.
And
They
I
really
hate when they
did.
take. It's like a classically beautiful woman, and they fucking turn her into. It's like what they did to
Yeah,
what's her face in Monster. It's just like Charlize Theron.
yes,
It's
Shirley's there.
What, Jamie Lee Curtis? What are you talking about?
No, she's in the movie, right? And
Yeah,
what?
She's in this movie.
everything,
Oh, the
everywhere,
new one.
all at
Oh, I
once.
thought you were talking about Big Trouble in Little China.
No,
I'm like,
no.
No.
I was like, that was Kim Cattrall from freaking Sex and the City.
Oof,
Yeah.
look at what's she looking
back
like
in her
nowadays?
really hot days.
What's Kim Cattrall
But
looking
anyway,
like now?
yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis, they really made her look like almost like a cat woman.
Oh, too much.
You know,
surgery,
like
that's
a
what she looks
woman
like.
with lots of cats. Cat woman, kind of
Cat lady.
kind of
Old
look-
cat lady.
old cat lady kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, I would give that movie a B minus, C plus, around there. It's a very interesting story.
Call it a B minus. It sounds better.
Yeah, okay, sure. I can do that. Let's see. As for
Plus, which sounds even better.
as for TV shows,
Call it a Hulu plus.
haven't really watched a lot of TV shows lately.
You haven't watched
watched it?
Obi-Wan?
I was gonna say.
Well, I've been
yeah.
watching Obi-Wan. Yeah, I caught
He's definitely been watching
yeah.
Kenobi because he's been complaining about it constantly.
Oh yeah, well that too.
Hey, look, Mike complained
Miss
about something.
Well, I suppose got to balance it out, right? Yeah, Miss Marvel caught that.
Perfectly balanced.
It's
Is all
eh,
it should
you know, it's I don't know. It's nothing special, but it's nothing fantastic either. It's just Miss Marvel. So I got no connection with it like Rikki. The boys looking pretty good. You know, can't really complain
I
about
think it's
that.
the best season so far.
It seems to be. What else?
That was another thing that I forgot to talk about.
The Orville. Been catching
Stranger
that, like,
Things 4.
Okay, yeah. So
yeah, actually, that should be out. Pretty
okay,
soon too,
so
right? The rest of it.
okay, so after you finish
that's
your
right. And I did catch up on. Yeah, I watched all of Stranger Things.
Okay,
That's what I was saying, yeah.
if you don't have much else, should we just go ahead and have the Stranger Things discussion since we didn't get to have it when Beansy was
Well,
here?
let him finish his week first. I just wanted to put it in there.
No,
so
that's what I said.
About it.
When he gets
Yeah.
it done, yeah, we'll talk Stranger
Jurassic
Things.
World. Yeah, I saw the new Jurassic World domination movie. So it was, yeah, it's like you. It wasn't like woo wow great.
There was a lot of
fantastic.
member
It was-
berries.
Yeah, there's a lot of nods.
Kicks
to,
in, and I
the older
still
movies.
hits me right in my feels. Like John Williams owned that score, dude. Like that's probably one of my
totally.
favorites of his. Like
They-
all you have to do is that first few notes, that ding.
It's a.
ding, ding, and
I would
immediately-
say.
They
I would
ran-
say it's a gentle ending to the whole
But it's
Jurassic
not.
Park, Jurassic
It's
World
not.
saga in a way. It's not really.
It's not the ending.
No,
They
it
have more
isn't.
planned. And they have a
The
I thought this was it.
Nope.
Shut up.
No,
Spoilers.
no.
Shut
I
up.
No.
I
No
thought this was
spoilers.
it.
No spoilers. They're
Yeah,
talking
it is
about
spoilers because they keep saying on the damn commercials about how this is the end of it all, and you're sitting here telling me that they leave it wide open in the movie for there to be more stuff. So that
they
is a
don't in
spoiler.
the movie. That's the problem. Well, okay, hold on. The way the movie has
I'm
an
muting you
open.
guys.
No, look, and no spoilers. It has an open ending. I'm not gonna tell you
That's
what
a
the ending
spoiler.
is, but it has an open
Kind of
ending. But it
does, yeah.
also it should have been the end. It's the end of this saga as it's written. But they're talking about either doing spin-offs or
Crap.
well, because they already have a spin-off that's running. They already have Camp Cretaceous, which is a spin-off cartoon that is taking place in the same world that it's taking. So and it's an in-between Jurassic World and even till now, as far as I know. So they're talking about maybe not in the same thing where they're not going to be bringing back the same fucking people we know and stuff like that, but within this world, there's still a lot they can do. They're whatever they want to do realistically, or they could just start filling in blanks, like gene sequences. There's a lot of gaps in here that they could fucking play with, much like Star Wars. That won't have anything to do with the main storyline because it's kind of what Camp Cretaceous is doing. It's filling in the gaps and behind the scenes shit. So, but like, I don't want more sequels, believe me, but I do want them to do something else in the world. Like, because it's a cool world. It's a cool idea. But I don't want them to keep running with the same ball. It's like, okay.
Is it a cool summer?
Cool. It's summer of love.
Yes, it is.
I will say, because you were talking about the score, though, Ricky. I didn't mention
Mr.
it.
Bananarama.
They do bring back the normal score, like the ding ding ding.
Yeah. That shit still hits me in my stomach, man, dude.
They hit every beat. They hit all of the beats within this movie that you'd want to be, beat over the head with.
Like fucking, you put on the original one. Like, you want to see me get close to fucking crying like a little baby? You put on the original one, and that part where he's like he makes her stare up at like the brontosaurus, and then he's like, "Welcome to Jurassic Park," and that music swells the fuck up, dude. It hits me every time.
Okay,
it hits me every
the
time.
original has
Red in the fields.
so much. There's so much in there with the original, like you're talking about. But this movie purposely copies a lot of those beats on screen.
Well, as soon as they said they were putting the original 3 in the movie, I was like, oh, here we go. It's going to be Member Berry, the sequel.
So you just mentioned that moment where he turns her head to look at the brachiosaur, and, where she stands up and then pulls her glasses off awkwardly. She literally does that in this fucking movie.
Fucking course.
In the first fucking scene that she's in.
That's right.
They do.
And then for some reason,
spoilers.
Gennaro's back, and
he's definitely dead.
T-Rex eats his ass
Everyone
again.
who has died is still dead.
Oh, they kept them dead. They just killed everybody else the same way too now.
Oh, I wish they killed more people.
No
in this
lawyers did not die.
No lawyers were harmed in the making of this film.
We don't know that.
Right.
We don't know that because technically a lot of people died. We don't know that they weren't lawyers.
For all we know, they weren't.
I want to see more about the storylines they forgot to finish in this movie. That's what I actually would like to see. Is like follow some more of that because they just kind of let storylines stop and then they just went and did another shit.
No.
That's what I want to see. I want to see some the underground.
Watch the documentary "What Is a Woman?" So that was.
Oh, did you?
Good. I did.
What were your thoughts on it? Since I talked about it when B&T was here,
it's amazing how many retards are running things in the world that cannot answer a simple question: "What is a woman?" Seriously.
Oh, they can answer. They just don't answer it in any
they don't
meaningful
want
way.
to for the sake of losing their job or being doxxed or being this or being that or being politically correct. It's just stupid. Just answer the damn question. Give it a definition.
Yeah.
That's it. Simple.
Yeah.
And his wife just simply answers it at the end.
Spoilers.
That's all. That's all.
Spoilers. Even I didn't say that whenever I talked about it.
Yeah, well, whatever.
How he gets the answer at the end. It's a good movie.
But I didn't say what the answer was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. I guess that's true. You didn't give the answer. I really do think people should watch it because
definitely.
I think okay, forget the obvious bias. Forget the obvious bias of everybody who works at the Daily Wire, and especially Matt Walsh. Forget the bias. Just look at what he's doing. Look at the people that he's talking to. Look at the stuff that is said and done. in response to just a simple question.
But it's not really a bias, though, is it?
No. Well, I mean, yeah,
it's a simple question.
But no, he does
woman?
their specific conservative bias was way out front. But what I'm saying is, don't focus on the bias. Focus on the reaction,
Right?
the answers, because
Exactly.
that's what actually matters. If you're at all,
that's right,
interested in what's going on in the
atmosphere,
socio-political issue around transgender people and children.
Yeah,
because that's a huge the children part of it is a huge part of this movie.
Oh yeah, because I'll just say this much: my wife and I are currently going through that kind of situation for a few years now. So, yeah. So
it and like, okay, so when I watched it with Miss SHOKY, she is just on the cusp of some of this stuff, like just the things that she hears about on the news, the laws in Florida, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But didn't know how far a lot of it went, like how deep it really goes. And like she was shocked, like as somebody who is non-political until, you know, like kind of like Rikki, like Rikki's
This
kind of
is
non-political
going
until
on
it comes
for
to his door.
years.
Well, yeah. So it's like, if it doesn't come to your door, you don't know about any of it, right?
Right.
So when literally presented with what is going on out there and the way it's being treated, in a very literal sense,
it's scary.
It's shocking to people who have no concept of it or who see themselves as neutral. So, like I said, it's like if you ignore the actual political bent of it just being a conservative program in and of itself, and you just look at the responses from these experts, these doctors, these activists, then it's actually like shocking. Even to me, I heard so many things that even I didn't know, as somebody who's been following a lot of this for a while. You know, even going beyond some of my own opinions, and I was like, whoa, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh yeah. It it definitely makes you realize what a bunch of psychopaths have really corrupted a lot of things, and
I'll say
how
this,
that sticks around.
I'll say this: I want my mothers-in-law to see it and see their reaction.
Oh yeah,
because I've had the because, you know, for those who don't know, you know, Miss SHOKY was essentially raised by two lesbians later in her life, you know, and her mom was her actual mother was partner to one of them, and then these, you know, once her mom passed, you know, obviously life happens, but you know, she was raised by her dad until her dad passed, and these lesbians were in her life and essentially raised her, you know, from even a young child. So she's been around the gay community for most of her life.
Yeah.
And I actually sat down one day with them, you know, and had the discussion about the differences between being just a lesbian or, you know, being a trans individual or non-binary thing. And they being both older, you know, they're in their 50s. They were kind of very confused by it. You know, like, just like even her, the one she referred to directly as her mom, now I'll just leave names out of it, is very butch in the way that, like, she's always felt more masculine, never really felt girly at all, even though, you know, younger, raised as a just normal girl, long hair, dresses, all that stuff, she never felt right in that manner, right?
Yeah.
And so later on in life, you know, as she matured, you know, she did get married at one point, like you do. You know, figured out at that point, you know, she's actually gay. You know, so ditches that, but then eventually just embraces the more masculine aspects, you know, wears men's clothes, shaves her head, essentially, you know, and, you know, if you didn't know that she had boobs, which, you know, if you get close enough, you can tell she actually has significant boobs. But she wears baggy men's clothes, you know, she works in a shop, you know, right. So she's a very, and she's awesome, but she never once considered herself to not be a woman. She just accepted herself as just being lesbian.
Yeah.
Never once. And then her spouse is more girly, but has still the masculine tendencies, has a short haircut, stuff like that. But she'll wear makeup. She wore the dress in their wedding.
Yeah.
Mind you, not a proper wedding dress, but wore a dress, stuff like that, and put on the makeup and all that kind of stuff. So, but they what's funny is they have some conservative leanings, but then the obvious more liberal side.
Right.
So when I brought up this topic to them, not seeing this movie, I do want them to see this movie because it'd be very interesting to see what they think about it.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll risk that next time we go up there.
Do it.
Oh, speaking of the Daily Wire, I did try to watch their new movie.
Yeah, that's definitely one I do want to check out.
I was gonna try. We tried to watch it this morning, but for some reason the Samsung Dex was not casting properly to my TV, and it was only like a corner of it instead of making it full screen, and it was fighting me. It wouldn't make the movie go full screen. When we watched What Is a Woman, it worked fine. So something was going on, and so I couldn't watch it on the main TV. So I might have to just watch it on the computer or something. Because I wanted the wifey to watch it. That's the new Gina Carano movie. For those who don't know, Terror on the Prairie. It just came out a week or two ago.
Terror on the Prairie. Oh yeah, and then there was another interesting movie that
Rikki went outside to smoke. I was wondering why he was muted for so long.
I was transferring all the microphones.
Yep. Oh, can't hear you now at all.
Another movie that I did catch most of was
You're really quiet.
Was an East Indian movie.
Let me turn you up a little bit.
It's called RRR.
East Indian though? How does that
work?
It's
like a Bollywood movie.
Oh,
right.
Okay, that's what you mean.
Yeah, and apparently this movie has actually gotten.
You got nothing, Rikki.
It's getting a lot of talk, and I caught it. And you know what?
What is it called
normally
again?
I would like R. It's literally called RRR.
Oh, okay.
Like 3 R's, right? Yeah. And it's getting a lot of talk.
That's better.
And definitely better. And I've watched most of it, and you know what? This is actually a pretty decent movie for a Bollywood movie. Like normally I would not watch a Bollywood movie because
I assume you torrented
singing
it
and dancing and stuff like that. No, actually it's on Netflix.
Oh no shit. Okay. Oh, that's right. Netflix has a lot of Bollywood stuff.
Yeah, they do. So I caught that. You know what?
That's how the wifey watched so many French and Spanish movies because she watched one and they suggested a lot.
And I know it's a 3-hour movie. It's a long movie, right? But it's pretty good. Like it is good. It's a good movie.
So for those wondering, Rikki's now back in his natural environment on his back porch smoking with a Monster coffee in hand.
There you go.
Which microphone is working right now though, Rikki? Is it the mic or is it your face mic?
That's the regular mic. That's this mic.
Okay, because it's really quiet for some reason.
Okay, let's try this then.
Or just turn the volume up.
This is the headset mic. Is that better?
Nope, didn't make a difference.
No difference.
Yeah. Maybe you need to turn up your input volume.
How about now?
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, that game got loud. You're going to have to turn it up on your end.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know a lot of people out there might not be, into that kind of, Bollywood movie kind of stuff, but give it a shot. It's not bad.
Do they break down in a song and dance at any point in time in the movie?
Yeah, I mean there are a couple of well, yeah, of course.
Okay, so speaking of that though, tiny spoiler because Rikki hasn't seen the latest episode of The Boys, but it's
don't you fucking dare.
No, it's just because of what you just said. There's a moment between The Boys episode and the new episode of Miss Marvel where there is a weird breakdown of song and dance. That's internal fantasy that's happening. I thought that was funny. I was like, what are the odds? What are the odds that there's, between The Boys and Miss Marvel, both in the same week, have a weird song and dance thing that happens?
I liked it.
I'm going to say this, I enjoy The Boys, but I think the hype behind it is it's so much of not the same. It's not Marvel. It's not that very thought out, very planned out, very cookie cutter superhero show.
I agree.
But on the whole, the story played itself out in first season. I mean, there's really not much meat left on the bone. They keep returning back to the same bone. Now they're just chewing the marrow out of it.
Well, this is the thing.
I get, I'm enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying it, but I think it's overhyped. People are leaving out the fact that literally it's Homelander being an asshole, them trying to figure out a way to stop him. That's literally season 1. Season 2, Homelander being an asshole, them trying to figure out a way to stop him. Season 3, guess what's happened so far in the first 4 episodes that I've seen? Homelander's been an asshole. They're trying to figure out how to stop him. That's it.
So if only. Well, see, this is going into our greater conversation that I want to have after we had the Stranger Things talk. So talking about the adaptation, because frankly, that's where the comic books go. Homelander is the problem, and they got to figure out how to unproblem the world.
And I think that's why I like it, and a lot of people like it, is our previous conversation about baggage. None of us have baggage from this because very few of us have actually watched or seen the old comics and read the old comics before watching the show.
So we'll have the adaptation conversation when we get there. So let's let Mike wrap this up.
Something
He's
just
still
broke.
on his week. How the fuck you still got along? No, I'm just
He's talking about that. Okay, what just broke?
I'm just joking.
Disney worker among arrests in Florida child predator sting. Full press conference.
Oh no, that happened weeks ago. They busted a lot of fucking child predators at Disney.
Apparently this happened 2 days ago.
No, there's probably a new one, but they've been doing that. They've been catching a whole lot of child predators that work there.
Even if it was 2 days ago, that still wasn't something just broke. That was 2 days ago.
No, this particular issue might be
in a 24-hour news
I did notice the day
2
before.
days is a month ago. It might as well be.
No, I know, but
there was a sting that happened. There was a sting that happened, I think, a month and a half ago, and they caught like a dozen child predators that work there.
But they're trying to make it all a Disney thing because Disney's the big name. But who gives the fact is these are pieces of shit child predators that just happen to work for Disney.
No, here's the thing though. It's part of a child or sex trafficking operation. It's part of a sex trafficking thing that's happening through Disney. That's why it's important.
It's not happening through Disney. The people that are doing it happen to work for Disney or have some attachment to Disney.
No, we're talking about at the park. We're talking about at the park itself. That's the thing. Yeah. That's the important part. That's why that matters. No, I've seen. So if they're having a conference or a press conference about it, it'd be interesting to see what exactly is coming out about it. But
so
I mean, it would. Go ahead.
Yeah. So other than that, for my week,
so everybody go watch RRR.
Yeah. So go watch.
Spend 3 hours. Go watch a Bollywood movie and Maverick.
And there you go.
And Stranger Things.
Singing and dancing and
then email us in and tell us the exact story because that's the only way I'm ever going to know it.
That's right.
Exactly.
So yeah, now I'm back to work finally after months.
The actual big news.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's the big stuff. That's what we're happiest to hear. That I know I was super excited when I heard. I even told my wife.
Yeah, it's working in making vinyl siding. It's paying like. Well,
it's paying more than
it's paying something.
That's right.
It's paying more than the government's taking from you. That's the important part.
Exactly. So I'm just going to be grateful that I have a job. Yeah, it's paying like $18.45 an hour.
That's not bad.
But
that's more than what I make, dude. And I'm doing the same job I've done for 20 years.
But that's Canadian.
You know what? And it's Canadian on top of that.
Oh, so you make like $2. Got you.
He makes about $6.50 an hour.
I'm making about 2 pesos an hour. So
you make $2 in real money. Got it. Canadian money.
Yeah.
As long as you can afford to get to work now.
And it's on a rotating shift, so starting for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be like midnight to 8 a.m.
That part sucks.
That kind of sucks. I hate rotating shifts, man.
God. And you know what? Steel toe boots on hard concrete for 8 hours straight, and I only get a half an hour break, which I can break up maybe into 3 smaller 10-minute breaks or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
That's the same as everybody else.
Get good insoles. Get good insoles. That's all.
Now,
I tell you.
do they when they do the flip, when they do the turnaround, when you're going from like first shift to second shift or second shift to third shift, do they give you like that 2 days off to reacclimate your body first to flip to that, or they want immediate?
Yeah,
you worked
called the
midnight last night.
Yeah, they give you the weekend, and Monday you start.
I mean, that's shift. I've worked jobs where they didn't give you that. It was like, oh, you were here till midnight last night. Cool, be back here at 6 o'clock in the morning. We don't care.
Dude, I did it at Walmart.
Yeah.
When they started letting the computer do the schedule, they had me open. They had me open, close, open, close in 1 week.
Crap. Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So I'd leave at 10 o'clock and then be back at 5:30.
I remember many moons ago when I was still working like fast food restaurants and stuff, like when I was a teenager and like very early 20s.
Yeah.
I remember they would do shit like that. We'd close the night before, so the restaurant closes at 11. You clean for the next hour to 2 hours, so you're out of there like 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh yeah, by the way, you're opening in the morning, and they start serving breakfast at 5, so that means you got to be there by 4. I even told my boss, I was like, why don't I just fucking sleep in the fucking manager's office?
Just sleep here.
3 hours.
I'll be in my car for 3 hours.
No, and the other thing is like
all of on my window.
Yeah.
And the other thing is all this equipment is like maybe about 50 years old. So, you're constantly having to watch it on top of that. So, to run back and forth between, packing the boxes full of vinyl siding, having to put them on a pallet on top of that, plus keep on packing some, plus put, labeling stickers, with the barcode on them on the boxes on top of that. You're running all the time constantly for like pretty much almost 8 hours straight.
So speaking for all the white trash people in the southern United States, we thank you for all the hard work you're putting in on the vinyl siding for the sides of our trailers. Please make sure they're hurricane compatible, because we do
golly, I just appreciate it so much. Well, thank you, Sergeant Carter.
I personally don't care because I live in
Shazam, Shazam, Shazam.
Oh my god. He just turned into goober pile.
There you go.
Wow.
I just appreciate working my butt off for you people down there. So,
I'm offended.
So that's pretty much.
You're offended?
As someone who used to live in a crappy trailer, I'm somehow offended.
Yeah, but I think he lived in Georgia or something like that. There.
So we had super thin metal. We didn't have vinyl siding.
Yeah, like a good gust of wind, your whole house sounded like a fucking cacophony going.
Tin roof. There you go.
Yeah, first time. Yeah, when I lived there, I'd been used to a house and an apartment. So when I moved into that trailer, that was nifty. The first time it rained really hard. It's like,
you want to talk about something scary that'll give you headaches is when hail hits those fucking things, dude. You're stuck inside that motherfucker.
We had to patch the ceiling.
Ice rocks.
Dude, I had to patch the ceiling above where I was because we moved the vent tube for the bathroom. So we took that big ass pipe that used to go through the roof and ran it out the side instead. So we had to actually patch it with a piece of metal and that rubberized tape stuff that the quarter-inch thick shit. So that's all that kept the rain out essentially. But I mean, for a 40-year-old trailer, you can only ask so much, right?
And then the other thing is, I did a couple of, sorry, I totally remember this on top of that. Did a couple of avatars for a couple of other YouTube people out there. And somebody wanted me to do a voiceover intro for one of their channels that has about, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 plus subs on their channel or something like that.
It wasn't me.
Just nice. Yeah, because apparently for some odd reason that can do. You remember Super Friends like way back in the day?
Yes.
The cartoon Super Friends?
Yeah, the cartoon Super Friends. Yeah, you remember the narrator?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
It's like meanwhile in the Hall of Justice, Superman's making a tuna fish sandwich, or maybe it's because Aquaman can't do shit or something like I don't know.
I don't remember that.
So they wanted me to. No,
I don't remember that. I remember Aquaman.
Aquaman
you just made me think of the Deep in the Octopus.
Yes,
like his name is Kevin.
Yeah. So this guy wanted me to do an intro.
Wasn't it Timothy or something like that?
Something like that.
Maybe
I think it was Timothy.
Yeah.
Dude. We'll talk about the boys. Either way.
Yeah. So it's
he made me think about that with Aquaman and Superman eating a tuna fish sandwich.
Yeah. Dude.
His name was Timothy, and you killed him.
And you killed him.
Oh my god, dude! The fact he had to eat a living octopus that was begging him not to kill him at the same time.
That's right.
Dude, could you imagine
making a tuna fish sandwich because he can't do shit. So
couldn't imagine if your food could talk and it's literally your friend that you're being forced to eat.
God. Well, I always thought that was funny. We talked about it before on Hitchhiker's Guide. The cow that would come out, like the restaurant at the end of the universe, would come out and be like, "Oh, I've been eating such and such kind of hay. Doesn't my rump look good?" It would talk you through which part of it to eat, and then they would go in the back and they'd kill it and cook it for you.
So Rikki, Love, Death, and Robots has a Hitchhiker's Guide reference in the first episode.
It does.
Nice.
It says literally, "So long and thanks for all the fish."
Yep.
Nice.
And they fly away in their weird white egg shaped ship.
Yes.
It's like
the shoe shaped improbability drive.
It's an interesting shaped ship in the first place, but they actually did that reference. I was like, that's cool. I like that. That was funny. I understood that reference.
I got that reference.
All right. Should we go ahead and
Awesome.
just...
Well, more important, before we get off into other stuff, congratulations on the job
Yes.
again. I'm
Yes,
glad.
yeah.
I know that's a huge stress off you and your family and not having to worry about so much stuff. So that's good to hear.
Very
That's
much
good
so.
to hear.
Thanks,
Let's
man.
get into the shit talking and joking now, but I wanted to
Yeah.
take a serious second and say
Let's do it.
congratulations on that, man.
That's a segue,
Yeah,
y'all.
thanks, bud.
Yeah, that's a segue. Here's the segue. Fuck
That's a
you,
segue.
Mike.
That's a segue to Mike having to get back to work. Okay, so Rikki, actually, you have not made any moose or beaver jokes in several weeks, so we need a little bit of that real quick. Off the cuff.
Meanwhile, Ricky's going to make a joke about Canadians again.
Yeah, Matt.
No, not
Matt
all
failed us.
Canadians, just Mike specifically.
Yeah,
Just the Albertians.
Albertians,
Alberti.
Albertos.
So the positive part of having a job again is you'll be able to buy the fancy conditioner to keep your beaver pelts soft as you wear them through your house.
He has to ride the moose. He has to ride the moose to work.
You ride the moose train. You got to ride the moose knuckle all the way to work.
The moose train. That sounds way worse than it is.
The M train.
Yeah, that's it.
Moose train. Fucking moose train. Anyways. I think I know what this episode's going to be called.
The moose train.
Strap on your beaver pelts and ride that moose train.
Come on, ride the moose train and ride it.
Oh,
anyways. Speaking of weird supernatural creatures, Stranger Things 4.
The moose is a weird supernatural creature.
Is it not?
Nailed it.
Is it not?
That was a super segue, y'all. Fucking nailed it.
Yeah,
that was good.
So
that was good.
We haven't gotten a chance to talk about Stranger Things in depth since we all have. Now we're all up to finished on Stranger Things 4 current. Stranger Things 4.1, realistically.
Well, 4.75, because I think it's only like 2 or 3 episodes in the last part.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying it's the first part, so it's 4.1. Either way. Dude, the Vecna storyline. What do y'all think?
I think 4 might be the I think 1 only beats it for nostalgic reasons, but I think 4 might be the most solid of the whole entire series. Like,
yeah.
Well, we spend half of this series before season 1.
Mm-hmm.
The entire 11 backstory. Full spoilers. I don't care.
Okay, full spoilers. Yeah. Okay.
Dude, yeah, because by now everybody's seen it.
Number 1, I called it. I knew as soon as they showed that motherfucker, the guy talking to her as the orderly and all that, I was like, he's the bad guy. I didn't get that he was number 1.
Yeah, I knew he was.
He
was clearly the bad guy, but I also thought he was imaginary for a while. I thought because we'd never seen him, and she's seeing him, and no one else is acknowledging
anybody but her
until they beat his ass. Until they beat his ass, I didn't think he was real.
I thought it was something like a subliminal message kind of thing.
I thought it was a subconscious thing in the whatever the system was called.
It was her Jiminy Cricket or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, so that shit was fucking, and finally seeing the switch, because they led you to believe she murdered all those people the whole season,
and she thought she did.
Fucking happened. Oh
yes, dude. I just got chills thinking about it. Fuck.
Dude, that shit was crazy.
Because the funny thing is that even since season 1, there's been theories that the Mind Flayer was number 1 to begin with, but now we know it's not the Mind Flayer. It's he's become his own supernatural being at this point. You know,
he's the Swamp Thing guy. The Swamp Thing.
He does. He actually looks like Swamp Thing. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That Jeepers Creepers. He looks like the Jeepers
Creepers. Yes,
Creepers
he does look like the Creeper. But
almost reminded me of Freddy Krueger. Almost.
The whole Freddy Krueger aspect, including having Freddy Krueger himself in this being his dad.
Yeah.
How about a psychotic redhead in a mental institution? That's not Cletus Cassidy all day long either.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of nods in this thing. There's a lot of little wink nudges at other shit that we all know.
So when the girls went to the insane asylum and interviewed him, and we got the entire backstory behind the haunted house and the demon possessing everything, and then to get it completely reframed as it was him the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he naturally
thought he was the one that killed everybody. Like,
yes.
That's crazy,
dude. Like that's why this season.
Who was that actor? That was
Robert Englund.
Yeah,
that's Robert Englund. Yeah, that was him. That's literally Freddy Krueger.
Dude, he was awesome.
Yeah. So like, I love that they've expanded all of the characters to a degree at this point, except for Will, who seems to be hiding something. Like, remember he brought that whole poster or whatever?
His doodle's going to be some big giant breakthrough.
It's going to be some breakthrough about the mind flayer and how to deal with
that,
this.
or it's going to be a picture of all his friends dead, and that's going to be like the ending shot.
Well, we know he's still connected to the Upside Down to a degree, especially since everything that happened last season. But there's also the idea that I think he's supposed to be gay and have a thing for Mike.
I've kind of noticed that
they made that very obvious. But like also the fact that
just get it out there and get it over with. Who gives a shit?
Well, it is still the 80s. Think about it.
They have the lesbians in there.
True. But it's just that but at this point they're like, okay, remember how we did a gay character last season? You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not just heavy-handed.
It's like now we're just too heavy-handed with it. I mean, like,
but they've been kind of hinting at that with Will for
a long time, yeah, for sure. But now it's slightly more obvious now that they're more mature, as it were. Although the funny thing is, he's the only one.
All those hormones are kicking in, and he's not. He's the only one that doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't really think.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's.
He's the only one who's had a massive growth spurt. Everybody else is roughly. Well, I guess no, Lucas too.
No, Mike's pretty damn big now too. But the only one that doesn't look any different to me really is Dusty. He looks slightly taller and a little skinnier, like he got rid of some of his baby fat. But
and he's got the new teeth. He's got more. He's got more teeth or updated teeth. But I love the fact they brought up the fact he has no collarbones. They brought that up again. Thought that was hilarious. Crazy. I love that they embrace his actual physical issues in the show as it being an issue in the show.
Yeah, and they make it.
They didn't have to try to explain it away and make it a thing in the show. They just turned into it.
I will say that the buyer's crew, as it is, so Will, Mike, and Jonathan, along with what's his face? What's the guy's name? The
burnout.
The hippie dude. Indian. What's his name? He has a funny name. So like they make it across the country fairly fast in that old fucking van.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's not Cashmere. It's something like that. But
it's close to that though. That's
something like that. I can't remember. But like I love that they go to find Dustin's girlfriend to decode a thing or figure out how, or she like basically hacked something for them so they could figure out where the location of the lab is.
Where lab it is.
The new secret lab. Oh, also the revelation that her dad is not dead. He did not die in season 1. It's like, okay, so he didn't actually die when the Demogorgon tore into his ass, but he is scarred after the fact.
Especially when you tear into an ass.
Shut up. I like that they brought back the other Doctor from the last couple seasons to try to revamp Eleven's powers. You know, they're like, "You're the only hero who could save us all." Yeah, right.
Matthew Modine or whatever.
I'm talking about Matthew Modine came back, but I mean they brought back Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner.
Yeah. So I like how he's the sympathetic Doctor, whereas of course Matthew Modine is the shithead Doctor. But he's just like literally like, look, we literally know that you're the only one who can stop this because you're the only one who has. And we thought that just meant in the previous seasons, but now we know literally she's the only one strong enough to defeat one.
Argyle,
that's what it is. He's the socks.
I had to Google it. It was right.
Yeah. Dude, the fact that Jonathan just spends his time getting high as fuck, and now we got in like basically he's given up on Nancy like a moron. It's like, come on, dude. Like, go back to fucking. It's like, hey, go back to your fucking hometown, be with your hot girlfriend, and stop letting Steve get back in on that. You know, it's kind of dumb.
Like,
but
come on.
But
I hope her and Steve end up together. Man, I like Steve better than Will, anyways.
Yeah, you mean Jonathan? But yeah. But I mean, Jonathan needs somebody, and
Will too. I like Steve more than Will too.
There you go.
Steve's actually one of my favorite characters. And I like how they brought him back from being the bully jock jackass and kind of made him a hero.
Yeah.
Reluctantly.
Ever since season 2, he's basically I love this one where he's like, I'm not going to be the babysitter. He's like literally, I'm not. Oh, what about the new guy? The new the rocker dude.
He's pretty cool. The Satan guy.
I like him. He's cool. Awesome, but I love that once he got involved in this shit, he's so fucking freaked out. He's like, everybody else is like, this is normal, dude, whatever. And he's still freaking the fuck out.
He was the guy, like, when they're in the normal world, he was like the gothic, all hail Satan, like evil guy. And then when they dropped him in the upside down. They dropped him in the upside down. He was like, what the fuck is this? He's like shitting himself. And they're like, they're just demons. We're cool with it.
No big deal, demon. Just demon. Bats hit him with something. We'll be fine. Just dude. Okay, two things.
Please, Bahamut.
Two things about the show, the season, I should say, that I find very interesting. One, the religious zealotry coming out of the jocks riling up the
Yes.
whole fucking town to turn
Yes.
against them.
Against Dungeons and Dragons.
Apparently that was a real thing. Like that.
It was.
that
I
happened.
remember that when I was younger. There was a book, and I'm to this day I'll never forget it. My mom made me read it and start going through my toys.
There was a movie about
Turmoil. It's called Turmoil in the Toy Box, and it was all about how your toys like He-Man and Transformers and all that shit were evil, and they're gonna make your kids be Satanists and this. I remember that to this day. To this day, I remember that Turmoil in the Toy Box. I guarantee if you Google it, it's a real fucking book because I remember reading it.
Yeah.
That shit was fucked up, dude.
And then the whole Hellfire Club thing doesn't help that they name themselves a Hellfire Club. But I like how it slowly unravels.
The devil's horns and everything and all that shit.
I love how it slowly unravels and eventually Erica is the one who fucks it all up. You know, it's like, oh yeah, it's just D&D, and they're like, what,
dude? And the sister's fucking awesome.
Oh,
I love her, dude.
She'll have a bigger role later.
She's like, he's fucking dumb, and they're like, language. He's like, but he is.
But he fucking is. Like, it's fucking great.
That's just funny.
And I do like how the new sheriff, he was the deputy before, of course, since Hopper's been gone. He's like literally trying to keep all this shit under wraps and deal with it properly behind the scenes, and everybody just keeps fucking it up, especially the clearly 35-year-old, 18-year-olds. Dude,
and the way he kills the people, like how their bodies die in the real world.
Yeah.
When he's doing this shit to them.
Breaks all their bones, explodes their eyes.
Oh, like sucks them inwards. Dude, oh my God. That shit was, I was like, dude, we went straight body horror gore in this.
That's why the Freddy Krueger things, and it's like, and it's in a dream, basically. He sucks you in through your guilt and then uses it to lock you in, and then he fucking murders you and then somehow keeps your soul or something.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. The Kate Bishop running up the hill, I like the cover by Placebo better.
I just watched a really good cover of it on Friday from a Irish singer called Colm McGuinness. He actually did a really cool cover of it. Made it very deep and creepy.
Put it out a few years ago. It was great. I love their version of it. The original is okay. It's very 80s synth pop. You can definitely hear it in that version.
Oh yeah,
dude.
But I love how that's her anchor song though. I think that's awesome.
I thought that they were gonna have the balls to kill her. I really did. I thought
it was coming at the graveyard.
But then they cut at the last second, and you don't know. She just drops, and you don't know if she's dead or not because the screen went black. Everything about that whole scene where she's actually in his world, not just in the Upside Down, is crazy. And then like the fact they're trying everything in their power to figure out what it is. Like, what is their favorite song? Like literally depending on what's his face breaking out of his nonsense. Lucas.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go with, there is one very stupid part of that season, and I fucking hate it, but you can't do anything about it, is the stupid light bright communicating between the two worlds thing.
Oh, that.
Okay.
I thought that shit was dumb, like where they could like
45 minutes.
they could draw shit in the air.
It's like, how does that even work?
They could just draw shit in the air, and it turned up gold, twinkle. What is it? Wasn't it Tinkerbell fairy powder in the other side? Like I thought that shit was dumb.
No, I actually like the idea of the energy connecting between the world, because we already knew that they can affect electricity.
But I thought it was too much. It's fine if they did straight on. If they stayed with the SOS and had to communicate that whole way, I'm okay with that. But the part where they end up, like literally, he's like riding in the air, and they would see the pixie dust version of it.
You know what didn't make,
that's too much.
The part that didn't make sense was the light bright.
The light bright,
because it's a single bulb.
You didn't hear me because you're being talked to.
I was being yelled at about the time,
so you didn't hear me, but I said the same thing. The light bright thing was just, it was too much. That's my only complaint about the whole season, is I thought that communication between the two worlds was too much. I don't think they handled that right. They were trying too hard to make it an 80s reference. It has to be light bright. I mean, I bet you their backup idea was a Simon that beeped out in a certain order when they
that would have been interesting.
I guarantee you.
I thought they did that before. No, they did. They did the Simon.
I don't know.
They did it in season 2.
Did they? I don't remember.
I swear to God, somebody did a Simon.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Maybe that was a different movie.
I've watched season 2.
Either way, no. Somebody has used a Simon for communications like that. But no, I like the idea that they did it. But I love. Hold on. I love the revelation that the Upside Down is from years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
It's from
it's still stuck in 1983 or
1984, because that's when she opened when she opened the gate.
Yeah.
No, it's when 11 made the gate. So like
when she broke through, it was at the same time Will was in there when they went to go save him.
Yeah. So the thing is like The Upside Down being formed into Hawkins only seems to be a thing because that's where the breach happened, and his life basically bled into it once he became part of it. Because we see what the Upside Down looked like.
The glowing underwater vaginal entry zone?
Yes.
That's
so
just
the
stupid.
small the breaches that he's creating all over the place. I like the idea that he's coming through in a different way, so he can invade from multiple points instead of one.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to bring up. The other thing,
the physics doesn't work though. I like
No.
that when
This
they
is
showed
where I
them
was
doing
gonna
the
talk about
rope
it.
flipping through to the other side. I thought that was cool.
This is
But
what I
think
was
about
gonna
it,
talk
if he has
about.
that one underwater,
Yeah.
how come the lake isn't pouring through into the Upside Down?
Because there's a barrier. So water came through when they came through, but it just closed right behind it because it does have an organic. What's the word I'm going to use here? Hymen.
Membrane.
It has a hymen.
Did you say hymen?
I said it has a hymen. So it does have a membrane, a physical membrane to penetrate.
Jesus Christ.
Well, look what happens in the trailer at the end. Yes. So look at it this way. This is what I wanted to talk about.
Thank you, Jerry Lewis.
But no, this is what I wanted to talk about because that is something they did that was smart. Because there's gravity on both sides, but we've only ever seen the portal in a wall or in at least a vertical form. So you're always stepping out onto the ground on the other side. Always. It's in a wall. It's never been in the ceiling. So I love the fact that they play with proper portal physics, because doing it in the floor would mean that it's going to be in the floor on the other side. And you're right but the thing is, actually, with the water situation, if there was water on the opposite side, which we now know there isn't, the pressure itself would keep it from going through. You'd have the exact same pressure from both sides of water. But anytime something goes through the portal proper, yes, water should go through. But actually, it would probably get stuck because it's gravity going both ways.
Once they pop the Upside Down world's cherry, it should be just full on.
Well, they did that. 11 technically did that. She forced a man through it. Anyways, but no, the ceiling of the trailer thing.
That was cool.
Now think about this. Part. Here's the thing. Now that they put that sheet through that hole, as it were,
right,
you cannot remove it. By physics, it is stuck there. Because it has
not by that show's physics.
Because the sheet can't go through either direction now. It's stuck as a pole, essentially. You can't pull it either direction because you'll be pulling against gravity that is now in the middle of it. That's the problem with having a physical object that is tied to two different ends. In theory, it should never be able to leave that hole now. Because they're now.
But if that's true, if that's true, then they would all been stuck halfway through the portal.
Well, that's the difference, is they can move through it. It's floating, being held aloft by gravity itself. Now they don't, because they push themselves through it. The sheet can't push itself through.
You can't push yourself against gravity. Go try to push the ground down and tell me how that works out for you.
You push yourself against gravity every minute that you exist.
But you're pulling from one gravity and pushing to the other. Yes. That's what they have when they went through the portal. That's why you see them climbing up through, but falling out upside down on the other side. Yeah,
but if they let go of that sheet, it will stay there. It won't fall.
Oh, it does stay there. Remember, it does hang out.
Yeah, so it just hangs there. So in theory, it should stay there, even if they never they might be able to pull it, but I don't know. Because
that's why interdimensional physics doesn't work, because they should have got stuck halfway through, because then the exact same amount of gravity would have been holding them on one side as it was pulling them on the other side. They would have been stuck halfway.
Unless something that's stronger than the force of gravity can push them through, which you can because you pick yourself up off the ground every minute of the day. Now if there was a differential, in that case, then
you can pull that sheet stronger than gravity can hold it, so you'll pull it through.
It should. You're right. But here's the problem with it, is because it's coming from above, not from below. Right. So hold on. The thing with the sheet is, don't think about the lake. So the thing with the lake is, you would go down and through, and then you just flip up. You're on the other side. But because it's in the ceiling in the trailer, it's being pulled down away from the portal on both sides, not being pulled towards the portal. So that's why you can't move
gravity,
it.
You can pull against gravity. That's how you move stuff. So
but the problem is it's being pulled on equal gravity on both ends. So imagine there was a person on either end just holding it taut at the same strength. It wouldn't move, and you couldn't move it.
I get what you're
way.
Saying.
We'd have to overcome
I'm agreeing
it.
With that.
Yeah.
So if you apply that physics, you have to apply it across the board, and they would have been stuck halfway through.
No, not with this, because the gravity would pull them through. Well, so that's why you can't move.
And the gravity would pull the sheet through. You see what I'm saying? You can't say the physics only affect the sheet and doesn't affect them. It would have affected them both.
I think
it's a balancing out.
It's balancing itself.
It just looked cool on screen, is what it boils down to.
But the same thing happens in the game Portal. You can literally do that with Portal. But the thing is, generally speaking, The difference is you don't have gravity on both ends in the same way. You can, but not in the same way. But that's in the
And
same.
you're also applying our physics to the upside down.
Yeah,
It's not
but the
necessarily
upside down
same.
has our physics essentially, because it is Earth on the other side.
Because it is
in
a
way.
mirror. Yeah.
It's a mirror. It's the same. So gravity is the same constant on both sides. So that's
the
why
mirror
it's
is a
weird.
reverse of the thing you're.
It's not
looking at.
actually a mirror. It's literally well, if you want to say it's upside down, it's just a parallel universe. They call it the upside
So that
down.
means that means gravity should push you away instead of pull you down because
It's
upside
not a
down.
mirror dimension.
However,
it's a clone
if
dimension.
one made the upside down, then he's going by what he knows.
He didn't make it
in this world.
He didn't make it. It existed, and he was pushed into it. But once he did that,
11.
whatever some consciousness
yeah.
has created that.
I think I think they're trying to knock at all the ESP stuff because it's kind of like the leftovers of people using their extrasensory perception powers.
Yeah.
It's created this upside down.
I think reality is
like a pocket.
I think the thing is it's a shapeless universe that has now.
I don't think they're ever going to explain it, Mike.
No, yeah. I don't think they will either. But I think the point is that the upside down, as it existed, had no shape. There was nothing to it. It was just probably some center of gravity stuck between whatever there's lightning bolts and shit.
Right.
It's a form of energy with no matter. Now that matter
That's what I'm saying.
has
I
been
think it was
introduced.
A pocket of residual ESP powers.
Yeah, but I think it's our reality bleeding into a thing that had no shape, and now it just takes the shape of the closest reality that it has. So it had nothing before. So now that a human has been pushed into it, I like what you're saying, but I'm saying
given form.
I think it was given form by the fact, like basically what we might see from the opposite side is like the lab beginning to bleed through from the original hole that he was pushed through on the other side. So the upside down may have started with the lab bleeding out and then forming the rest of the universe around it for the last few years.
Could be.
So maybe we'll see if we see it at all.
Yeah.
But I like the
I don't
idea
think they'll ever.
they don't need to explain it. Yeah, they don't need to explain it.
It'll leave them open for spinoffs. If they explain it, then it ties into that.
I want no
spinoffs.
spinoffs. I want it to just end.
Oh, they're going to.
I don't think so. I think the Duffers.
It won't be the Duffer Brothers. It'll be somebody else because Netflix is not going to let this cash cow go.
I think they will.
I don't know.
I don't.
They could. They should.
They should let it go.
But they're not going to.
Because there's no reason to do spinoffs because then, like I mentioned with Matt, all you're going to do is you'd have to come back to 11 and 1. You'd have to come back to Hawkins. No amount of spinoffs.
Only if they explain. That's what I'm saying. Only if they explain it. What we're talking about. If they explain away how that anchoring and all that happens, that creates them having to come back to this spot. But if they leave it ambiguous, then they can move it somewhere else.
If it's the fact
to say why it's somewhere else.
Well, let's say this: if it's the fact that 1 is on one side, literally, and 11 is on the other, and 11 can close the gaps from this side, but 1 can open them up. If they eliminate the only thing that can open the gaps from one side, then it ceases to exist. So if 1's existence is the only reason the upside down continues the way it is, if they eliminate 1, then it goes away.
It's the only reason why it exists the way it does there in Hawkins. That's what I'm saying. If they don't explain it away.
So if it's
they don't
tied,
explain it away.
Yeah, but like you were saying, like if it's tied to 1 or it's tied to the ESP field, then which actually would mean that there had to exist at something at some point. But from here on out, maybe. But the fact I think it's the fact that he was pushed into Hawkins or from Hawkins. You know, even if you open a new hole, if you open a new hole like the Russians did, but that ended up basically being a portal. Like, so they opened a portal between our end and their end somehow. That's how.
But they did it with something tied to Hawkins.
Hold on, give me a second.
Had to portal back to Hawkins.
So let me get this straight because this is the part I was confused about. With Hopper, right? He didn't go through the portal. He fell down to the ground. Like he was way below it when it exploded, and then the Russians found him and took him back to Russia.
That's what they're showing.
Okay, see, that's where I got confused, and I might have just not been paying attention.
They physically took him back. To Russia.
So he didn't jump
they were
through
still
a portal to Russia. Okay, that's where I.
Oh wait, no, that's what I thought.
Because at the end of season 3, they made it look like he was going into the portal, but in this one, they explained it away by showing a different camera angle where he fell down.
He fell way down low and was undercover.
Right.
And then the Russians,
Russians walked up and picked him up off the ground and took him back.
So that's where I got confused. So the Russians took what they could and left before the FBI or whoever else cleared it out.
So this is how I pictured it in my head. Picture a Ziploc baggie. Okay, you got a Ziploc baggie.
Oh, here we go.
Every time some person with ESP powers uses those powers in our world, a little bit of sand gets put into that Ziploc bag, and a little bit of sand, and it just keeps filling up. And, it's an expandable bag, so there's no limit to it. It can keep growing as you put more dirt into it. When 11 pushed 1 in, and he went into that sandbag, he started taking that and building sand castles. His memories created that upside down based on what he knew in the real world to exist. So he started making sand castles out of that sand. So the way they would do a spin-off would be, it would be a whole different set. Like, let's say another scientific lab that was doing ESP studies, like let's say in India. Well, that Indian kid, if somebody from there push somebody into that bag, then they would start building their own upside down over there. They would still have to force a human thought process in there to change what it is.
I think,
but it exists as a pocket.
I don't think that is the way this works, because they showed that the only reason that it happened the way it did is because 11 was using the upside down subconsciously to travel elsewhere. So she was.
Everybody was using the upside down every time they touched the ESP. They channeled into that.
I don't think everybody, because when they were fighting, like when they had them challenge each other, they're doing stuff right then and there. 11, along with 1, were being used as psychic assassins. They were being used to traverse the upside down and kill people remotely. That's what they were doing. So that's why
they were using it to pop up in and out of into other pockets. Is what I'm saying. They went in and came back out another bag.
No. Look at it this way. So the same way that 1 is killing people from the upside down, via the universe. So he's reaching out like an antenna, killing people in the real world with his ESP. 11 was doing the same thing,
but she was deprivation tank.
Yeah, but she wasn't doing it she wasn't necessarily doing it in the upside down. She was using the upside down as subspace. Right. So she was traveling via the upside down without knowing it. It's almost like, but she wasn't physically going anywhere. She was just reaching out through the psychic network that now existed within the upside down.
Yeah, like
but she wasn't actually going into it like you're thinking.
No, but mentally, I'm saying. Mentally,
I know, but I'm saying
behind pieces, like they're changing it. Like if you think about like a puddle of water, if you run your hand through the puddle of water, we all see the ripples and changes that it made to the water. But what we don't pay attention to is how that swirl goes down to the bottom and moves the sand around, and moves the rocks around. We don't pay attention to that we leave behind. We only pay attention to what we saw, which was the ripples on top. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is they were using it to get around and murder people and do all that shit.
But they
weren't realizing that they were directly affecting that pocket they were slipping through.
Yeah, but once again, I'm going with the idea that only 1 and 11 have been powerful enough to do that, where the other ones are good enough
that we know of.
Yeah, but I think
what I'm saying. Somebody else
in
another lab might be powerful enough to do that also. That's what I'm saying. That's right. I'm not saying this because I think that's the way it should be. I'm saying that's how they would have to use it to make a spin-off of it.
Yeah, but I think that's just
self-contained.
I think the only problem with that is it's just going to retread the exact same situation. But the problem originated with 1 and 11, and then once either of those is 1 has to die, because otherwise the story would continue. The whole point is
I'm gonna take you one further. 11 has to die.
I don't think 11 has to die, but I think that it will cut off the power.
That'd be quite the twist. I can kind of see it that way.
But then it just comes down to they have to neutralize each other.
From our perspective, we're saying if they did a spin-off, like going with that thought process, I'm thinking of the the other pockets and stuff, and say I'm just again picking India because it's a random country that just popped into my head. Yeah. They have the same thing happening over there. We as consumers are like, man, it's just going to be the same shit over and over. They're going to have their number 1 and their number 11, and it's all going to happen all over again. And we're going to get to go on a joyride with these Indian kids now living through something. That's how we see it. How Netflix sees it is we're going to do the same thing we did here over there, and we're going to make that same $10 billion. Yeah. They don't look at it as retreading the same path that we've already seen. They look at it as retreading the same path that got them $10 billion. They don't care that we think it's a retread.
I think
they care what they think they're going to make money off of.
Yeah, but I think the only problem is all they can do is mimic exactly what has happened before, because there's not going to be a new story to tell, because the compelling part is the characters we've seen.
Yeah,
It's like,
but they're only compelling because we fell
only
in love with
matters.
them and liked them as a character. If they
Yeah.
did the same
So
thing somewhere else,
they're going to just
they would try to
copy
make
it
us
and
fall
do
in
it
love with that
elsewhere.
character.
They just literally
Yep.
change the color palette and do the exact same thing. I don't care about that.
What if they did like okay, so we had an 80s kind of nostalgic pool in this one. So what if they do a historical?
I don't want
What
to
if they do a historical pool? What if they went back to the 1940s in Germany, and that's how the Nazis were able to win so much of the war? Is they had people using ESP that were creating these pockets over there and shit like that. So now we have a historical tie-in now instead.
But then that
would, what I'm saying?
But
they
that would
still almost following. Yeah, it's almost following the same formula.
But it would be the same formula with a different color palette. And nobody would care.
To us, it's a negative because it's just the same shit regurgitated.
It is
to them, it's the same $10 billion they're going to make again. They don't give a fuck.
But it won't be the same $10 billion because it'll just be retreading it and nobody will watch it.
They'll still make it. You know why? Because the same exact reason why Marvel can make Miss Marvel make money off of it, because I don't care about that character. I don't think this show makes her any better or any cooler in my book. But I'm still going to watch the entire motherfucker, so they're still going to get paid for it. They're still going to make that money off of my viewing because I'm going to wait till it's all done and binge watch it.
I don't think it applies in the same way because I think that's not copying anything. That's just another story that you don't care about. That's not... Now, if they... It's
a direct copy. It's a superhero origin story. A poor, sad little kid who becomes a superhero
it's not the
has
same
hero
story.
Thrust upon... Sure it is. It's Peter Parker being picked on as a nerd in school. This one's just her being picked on by her parents, that living that hard knock life of parents that give a shit about you.
But you're talking about literally having an Indian Spider-Man happen. He gets bit by a radioactive spider that was created by...
Oh, you mean like Miles Morales or Spider-Gwen?
Different universe, but yeah. Now, if you
same
want
exact story.
Now, the only way it would have worked in that case is if we found out that the Upside Down was a parallel reality that we're dealing with, and all this and the same kind of people are on their end dealing with this from their side. But we didn't go that route. We went with supernatural creatures.
So instead of regurgitating the same thing, they invert it and tell it from that end of the story.
We want to see the mind flayer and deal with these
we
fucking kids keep poking in
every
here
day and get picked on.
No. Well, if it had been that it was a complete parallel reality and this kind of shit was happening, or even the fact that maybe 11 wasn't killing people that they thought in their world, she was actually killing people in another world that they, and they're like, well, we sent you to kill this person. Why didn't you kill this person?
Yeah. Dude, I just had some pop in my head.
Oh God.
Just popped in my head just now. Tell me you wouldn't shit yourselves with this.
Okay.
What if? Okay, because remember the Upside Down is stuck in 1984. All right. We have seen the kids' interactions with it since 1984 going forward, but it stayed the same.
Yeah.
What if the Mind Flayer is 11 when she goes to fight old fuckface at the end of this shit, and it forces her to become the Mind Flayer?
That was the other. Well, actually, the original thought was that the Demigorgon was actually 11, but from the Upside Down, like I never so the reason why she had a connection to, well, this is one of the theories, was that the reason she had a connection to the Demigorgon is the Demigorgon was her, but in that reality.
I got
but now we know that that's not how it works.
Becoming the Mind Flayer though, because she is super powerful. Maybe her using her power to destroy one pushes her over the edge where she can't come back from it.
But that would have to mean that she would have to time travel back before the situation and become the Mind Flayer before, because the Mind Flayer exists.
Or they just leave it as the everlasting hanging thread, and they just purposely just cliffhanger it and never fix it.
Yeah,
just no.
I mean,
holy fuck, how about she became the Mind Flayer, and then we go back and watch season 1, and oh my god, the Mind Flayer is going to destroy everything, and we watch all the way through season 4, and holy shit, she became the Mind Flayer, and then you go back to season 1.
That's a Doctor Who storyline.
Well, I mean, hanging out with you guys, I think being a Doctor Who fan is a fucking STD. I think that shit might be rubbing off on me because that sounds like some shit that they would do in this show. Like, just leave it like purposely because it's supposed to be like a lot of those 80s shows had those cliffhanger endings.
I think
they never got.
I think the only spinoff. I think the only spinoff you can get would have to be with 8. Right. And you wouldn't have any actual connections to the Upside Down.
The bully kid?
No, 8 was her sister.
No, 8 was the sister.
That's right. The only other one that we know that survived. Everyone else seems to be dead. And by the way, because it was all connected to the MK Ultra project, I don't know how much further we go with this, because at this point they put all of their eggs in the basket of the whole basket of 11 is because she's their only hope left. She's the only one who has this ability, so You might be right in that she
She's the
has
only
to
one
die.
so she's like the Wolverine. Like she's the only
I think-
one that the adamantium process didn't destroy.
I do think that she might die
Kinda.
because of the mental stress to do what she's got to do.
Mm-hmm.
But the one
I
thing
think
that
that's
they
gonna be she's literally gonna have to sacrifice herself to take
Well,
him
That's
down.
right.
well, she's
The
already
hero's
technically done that because that's what happened in season 1. You know, we thought she was dead and she disappeared, and then they went and saved her from the Upside Down. But like,
And maybe this time she can't come back, and that's why she's stuck in the Upside Down and becomes the Mind Flayer. I'm calling it now.
I don't
She's
think
the
she'll
Mind
get
Flayer.
stuck in the Upside Down. I think they'll just die because they have to end both people who can open a portal. It's like the idea they need to
She's gonna
seal.
stay in there and keep closing the portals, like keep making sure they don't get open from that side. She's gonna sacrifice herself to stay in there and keep them closed. And they thought the Mind Flayer was the enemy, but really what the Mind Flayer was doing was going around destroying.
She'll defeat everyone and live happily ever after with Will.
Well, the thing is, if she becomes the Mind Flayer, that
Owen.
means she's been inside Will.
That's right.
Hey,
She
well,
went
then maybe
she went
he's not-
all up in Will.
maybe that's something that's happened.
I think it'll end on the
And
destruction.
her
of the Upside
feelings
Down.
for boys is leaking into him.
Yeah, I think that
That's
the end of the destruction of the Upside Down is the only way that ends. Like
It doesn't have to end with the destruction of, like I'm saying, if she stays on that side with the intent of I'm gonna sacrifice myself and stay here forever and close any portal ever opening. If another bad guy pops up with the ability to close portals, I'm gonna destroy them and close any portals that they open. They could do like that.
I don't think that'll happen because then you just end up with the same exact problem and it becomes cyclical. I don't think they want it to become cyclical. I think they want it to end. And the only way it ends is if the source of the problem on both sides is gone.
She's gonna pop up at the very end and be like, I shot JR, and then it's gonna go to black screen.
There you go. She has shot, and JR actually, she shot JR. No, I think that
damn you.
I think the only thread that they kind of left alone was whenever she used her powers to close the giant portal, and her eyes went black. I think that's the only thing that they left dangling because we have not seen her do that since then, even though she blew out her powers, so to speak. Trying to defeat the previous.
You're giving me more ammo for my Mind Flayer.
No, I think ultimately she's gonna die because we've seen the stress alone is fucking up their head. If you're gonna be nosebleeding that much, or your eyes are bleeding from using your powers that much, it's like you're rupturing blood vessels just by stressing your brain. And if she's coming back more powerful than she was in the first place, just to be able to defeat one, I think that she's gonna end up dead trying to kill him. And that's going to be the end of it. And then the Mind Flayer just sits up back waiting for anyone. I think ultimately, if nothing else, we see one die and the Upside Down unravel as it currently is because we're going to cut off the connection to reality that they currently have. And it'll just go back to the Mind Flayer floating in nothingness until just waiting for somebody else to do it at some point.
Or she's gonna destroy one.
That's dumb.
She's gonna destroy one, and then it's gonna be like you're talking about, like the Mind Flayer.
Ray becomes the Emperor.
It's gonna be her floating like in the nothingness, like a representation of the. What if
she ends up like her mom, just seemingly brain dead, but she's actually just trapped in there doing the work to constantly keep things close.
It's going to be cool to see how they work it out, but that's my theory, and I'm sticking with it the same way I'm sticking with my Obi-Wan theory.
I don't think she should.
I'm still going with it.
I don't think she'll stay in the Upside Down. I think she'll just be seemingly brain dead because she's spending her entire existence on this side, just keeping it all under or keeping it all contained until she dies. And then when she dies, then the walls start coming down.
So, and then there's your spinoff. So then
I don't want a spinoff ever. I don't want a spinoff. I don't want a sequel. I want these characters to be in the end of it and nothing else to ever happen again.
That's what I want too.
Because fuck useless spinoffs and sequels.
In capitalism, that's not the way it works.
Don't blame capitalism.
She destroys the Upside Down and thereby causing the destruction of this Earth because they're both inexplicably linked together.
And then she explodes into a showery.
Well, you know what's weird?
That's right. Where she becomes a cosmic egg and restarts the universe all over again, becoming Galactus.
I hate everything. I hate everything. She becomes this universe's Mind Flayer.
Sure.
And she wipes out all existence here. And then we have to wait for the next parallel universe to evolve so that it can punch through. And that's how you get your 11 is the Mind Flayer. Is that it, Rikki?
Exactly.
Is that exactly what
Some
happens?
bullshit. Sounds right to
She
me.
nukes.
Sounds
She
right to
nukes
me.
all of existence here, trying to
Yep.
stop one.
Yep.
Therefore, cutting off
They're-
the
they're
original
Sacrifice
upside
the many
down.
to save the few. That's
There
how
you
it
No,
go.
goes.
not even the few. She
That's
wipes out
right.
all of existence.
That's right.
She kills everyone,
Needs of the
and she
many.
becomes the next
She does-
mind flayer for
Oh.
her universe.
Oh, there you go. So, what you
The
call it?
needs of
For-
the many outneed the way the needs of the few.
the referencing back to Hitchhiker's Guide, the Mostly Harmless book, the way he ended it. He
Just
just
kill
wiped out the
everything.
whole universe.
Oops.
Yep, just kill everything. So you stop talking to me about
So,
it.
so the complete destruction of reality as we know it is due to 11 pushing all of
Sure,
reality into the upside down, so it ceases to exist.
No.
And that's why there's no spin-offs or anything, because that entire existence.
We merge universes, therefore
Gone.
canceling them out,
Yep.
Yep.
but
There we go.
only in
How about that?
1984.
Yeah. That's
Yep,
right.
because 1984 was a hell of a year.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
but
was.
I like the idea. I do like the idea that they're like, well, you still had bikes, right? So they go raid the garage. I'd be like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you still had a car, right? It's like, come on.
But they're little kids. They can't be caught
Sure.
driving down the street in a bike. I mean, in a car.
In the
It has to be
upside
in a-
down.
Oh, in the upside down.
That's what I'm
true.
talking about. Like
Oh,
she's
sure,
talking about
why
Did you never
1980.
do you see any cars?
Yes,
in
but
there?
they're usually overgrown with the vines that are
Yeah,
part
so
of
you
the
can't really
upside
do
down.
anything
Yeah,
on there. Yeah,
that's
they're all
right.
rusted out and
Exactly.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll see a reversal. I think actually what will be cool is if she pulls one back to our world and that
And then
seals
they
off
kill 'em.
and then seals off the upside down that way.
Oh, they pull him back to the real world and put him in there with his dad, and his daddy goes all Freddy Krueger on him and stabs the fuck out
Well,
of him.
he's still got his supernatural powers, so I don't know how good that's going to work. And he's still going to be all weird and viney.
Yeah.
I think
maybe killing his upside down self will fuck him up.
I will say though, the only thing that's weird is that he has to keep plugging into the matrix, as it were.
Yeah, all the vines lifting
It's
him
like
up and stuff.
I'm getting
It's
tired of
very-
that just being all that happens. But what I found interesting about that is that he has a physical existence in the upside down, but he also has a
Yeah.
mental existence in the upside down, which is where he kills
Like he could
everybody.
separate the two.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. So it's the same thing. But either way, I have a very
Really good.
I seemingly have an angry
long
wife now.
story short story long.
Yeah.
It's really awesome, and I can't wait to see how they try to tie it all up.
Yes.
Because
And
at first they were going for a season. Well, originally it was supposed to be 6 seasons, and then
6
supposedly
seasons
they
and a
were
movie.
still going to do a season 5.
No.
But now supposedly this is it. This is the whole shebang because the kids are outgrowing everything.
we'll see. I don't know.
So,
I think
we'll see.
I think
might
they're
still
still
try to push
intending
us
on a
to Season
5.
5 out of it.
I think they're
Yeah,
squeezing out
originally
season
it was
5.
6.
It's going to be hard pressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put out
At
a
this point,
statement,
season
so.
5 is going to be their grandkids in the fucking
You
show.
can only milk
There
it
we
for
go.
so long before it becomes lost.
Everybody
Like
rags on
the
Lost. but
series
was awesome.
Lost.
I've never
love
watched
Lost.
Lost. I know the
I've
whole
never
entire
watched
story
Lost,
of Lost.
but I've heard.
It's great.
I couldn't get into it.
It's great. Love it. Either way.
Okay.
Either way.
I know you love it because you watch it. Like, don't you say every year you go through
every
the whole
5
thing again or
years.
some shit?
But I've
every
gone
5
on
years,
10
yeah.
years since the last time I watched this, so I do need to rewatch it. However, I do have an angry wife again, so therefore I do have to cut it off before we have
Wrap
this
this shit
discussion
up.
again, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we're already at 3 hours, so that's fine.
Cool.
She's in there slamming things, therefore I have to go.
Oh, somebody's not getting any nook on today.
We'll see. I don't know how.
There's your sign.
It's that whole concept of the pool disappears at 5 p.m. apparently.
Why- just tell her to go jump in the pool and let us finish this one conversation. You'll be right down.
Exactly. But,
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. She won't go down there without me because she's shy.
What was the conversation you wanted to talk anyway?
I do want to, I do, once again, I want to have the conversation about adaptations and why some of them don't work. But for some reason, The Boys works really well despite being so divergent from the source material. But you come into things like any of the MCU stuff that a lot of people have been hating lately. So why is it that
I
one
still
thing
think
can
that, I
work?
think we've already kind of touched on that on our previous conversation with bringing baggage to the viewing of it. I don't think enough people
well,
have read.
see,
The
this is
Boys
why I
for it
want to have
affect
this
whether they like
discussion.
The Boys.
No, because people who've read The Boys also love the show and don't care that it's divergent. Whereas
but it's
people
not really
who've read,
divergent.
oh, it's very divergent.
They've changed like a couple major things. but
No,
not
they've changed
hugely.
a lot of major
I've
shit.
never read The Boys.
They've race and gender swapped a lot of characters. They've changed the origin of
really?
characters. They've changed the powers of characters. They've changed character names entirely.
The race
Soldier-
and gender has nothing to do with the overall story, though. It's more.
In some
it's the
cases, it
one-
does. One of the
the
main
one-
characters from season 1
Mhm.
was originally a man and is a woman in the show and therefore very important and has a very important role. It's a major change about relationships and the way they're tied together, and also things for the TV show. So there's major differences between the series and the books.
You're gonna make me download these graphic novels and
You
read
can
them.
if you want to.
I think I've read the first. I thought I've read the first batch.
Yeah, and also they may or may not be changing what happens with Homelander. You know, depending on what's going on.
That's the one that people that I know that have read it, they said they've already changed. They've already done something that makes the ending given in the comics impossible.
Yes and no. I know what they're talking about, but since you haven't seen, well, I guess you've seen the episode, but you don't know how the comics end, or how the Homelander story ends in the comics. I'll put it that way, because the comics don't end with
he's not the end of the comics.
No, that keeps going and gets.
You're gonna make me read all of
and I think that now that I know how things sort of ended in the comics, because I watched it just to see a thing, I don't think the show is going to go that way. But that's a discussion I want to have, but right now we can't have that. But guys, I did actually forget to do all our intros at the beginning. So, I am Shoky. You can follow me at all the Shoky related things down below. Mike is here at the Comic Relief Crusader, all the things that you can do, with that. And of course, if you want to buy shit from him, you can do so at Freelance Graphics with a K.
That's right. I'm selling t-shirts now.
Yes, I have new t-shirt as well.
Yay.
I have new merch over on
Whatever
my
happened
store.
with the designs on our t-shirts we were talking about?
Still kind of working on that. I got to get my drawing skills up.
The doof one and the Segway one.
The doof one is an easier one, but the Segway one, I got to get my drawing skills back up to get my
get the doof one out there. Then I want to see somebody wearing.
Why? You're not going to buy it anywaes.
Nope, I'm not a fucking.
So you're not even going to fulfill the shirt.
Wearing it.
You're not even going to fulfill the shirt.
Somebody wearing it. You'll wear it, and it'll completely be inception. You wear it.
Graphic designer.
No. Anyways, and then there's Rikki. He does things for Nerd Rage. So.
Yep.
Either way, guys. So we'll catch you on the next episode, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more time to actually get some shit done, and we'll actually be caught up eventually. We're still behind on a lot of
now
shit.
that we killed the 2 weeks worth of catch up, I think next
shit didn't even do that, because I wanted to talk about the whole Ezra Miller situation and how that's evolved. So we didn't
holy fuck, yeah, that dude's
dude, it has gone insane, and we need to talk about it. So
wow.
And they completely removed Mira from Aquaman 2.
Supposedly, but then there's conflicting issues on that too, where they said they doubled her screen time, and then they turned around and said they removed her entirely. So I don't know.
They said they doubled it before they said they took it all.
I know, but I saw the same thing in the same week, so I was like, which one is the real article? So that's where we got to dig into it. It's all fake news.
We'll all know when Aquaman 2 comes out.
It won't. Just fuck it. Just write it off entirely. Fuck the movie.
I think that's what's going to happen to
Flash. It didn't work for Vincent Chase. It's not going to work here either. So
I want to see 89 Batman back on the screen again. Fuck all you haters.
I want the Flash movie to not come out, because I don't want Ezra Miller to get me money if he turns out to be
I hate all of you guys. He's not going to. They won't pay him. That bitch will be in jail.
Oh no, they have to pay him.
Contract.
No, but if you go to fucking prison, I guarantee you there's a clause in there saying you don't have to pay a fucking felon any money.
Assuming they did. They haven't canceled him so far for all the crazy shit he's done. But either way, that's a discussion for another day. And there's dishes being slammed. I have to. I should probably go in there and
do your thing before you get your dick chopped off. I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So, all right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Okay, bye.
Later.
Bye.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.